Hello, everybody, and welcome to what day is it today? Sunday. Sunday's live stream. Welcome to the Tardis Zone Lives Real Whovian phone in. Welcome, everybody. So for tonight's show, I would like to concentrate. I've obviously alerted a lot of you beforehand in the live chat. I want to kind of just concentrate on the current production team, the politics of this era, and also we will discuss obviously the politics of the classic era and previous previous eras, obviously under different showrunners, to just kind of make sense of all this rubbish that's happening with Series 11, and just kind of spell it out to those people out there that don't understand why we actually have such a problem. So I see there's 23 of you right now watching. Do us a favor, please give the stream a like, and for all you lords and masters out there, and all you freedom fighters that are watching me right now, also, and aren't in the live chat, just watching me from afar, please give the video your usual dislike. Yeah. So we'll just get straight into it, because I just want to say that I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 callers for tonight. So we've got a lot of callers to get through. So I'm going to get through as many of them. I'm going to get through them all tonight. Everybody will get the usual 15. It's usually 20 minutes, but get everybody on. I am going to do it every 15. Every caller is going to get 15 minutes, basically. So we might as well just get cracking on, because I want to read you this. So this came out on Digital Spy 2 days ago. And it's interesting because I've put up a few videos of these I've seen. Now, again, I get accused of this, that, and the other, and having agendas. But at the end of the day, I see these articles, and maybe there's YouTubers out there that don't want to report this or talk about this. But I'm going to talk about it. If you want to talk about rainbows and unicorns and how great this era is, well, then that's fine, right? But I'm going to actually show the other side. And if that's spreading hate, as some people call it, well, you've got it wrong anyway. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show people these articles, because the show isn't as popular as you make it out to be. The fact that she's gone in 2020 and Chris Chibnall is gone in 2020, and I don't care what you are saying. And some YouTubers out there having a dig at me and have a cheek, because when I found out where they were getting their information from, I actually had to laugh, because it's a place that I even avoid on Twitter, because there's nothing that they've gotten right, especially when it comes to some to announcements and all. They haven't got it right. They're like everybody else that are on Twitter claiming to have sources, right? They're getting their information. They're looking around, and that's it. They're not getting their information off people, as they say they're getting it off. So it doesn't really bother me now at this stage. People can say whatever they want about this channel. It's actually kind of backlashed on those people, because I've actually gained subscribers. I actually have a record number of people watching me tonight as well, and I have a record number of calls. And yes, I will brag about it, because I don't normally brag about it. So I'm going to brag about it, because some people out there have huge egos and think their channel are great, when mine is actually doing very, very well. So I'll just get into this anyway, because this article is actually very important, because it shows the kind of attitude, and it's the last paragraph actually of this article, which is really, really interesting. But I'll read the whole article anyway, to be fair, right? So Doctor Who actor defends show against politically correct backlash. There has been so much gained for the better. And the article is by, for anybody out there, because again, I get accused as well of putting articles up, not putting links. It's because I don't know how to copy links onto it. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I do always put the author of the article in. And if I don't, I always put who the article is by right at the end of it anyway. So this article is by Chris Edwards and Abby Robinson, right? and it dropped on the 12th of 10th, 2019, just to be more specific for all you brain dead losers out there. So, I hope I get his name right. So, it's Doctor Who actor Hazma Jatua has defended the show against claims it's turned too politically correct. Hazma, who is currently starring in ITV's and Honolulu zombie apocalypse comedy Zombo, appeared along Jodie Whittaker's Doctor in Series 11 Episode 6, Demons of the Punjab, which centers around the partition of India. The sci-fi series, well, that's the first time I've heard it being called a sci-fi series now in a long, long time, right? But anyway, the sci-fi series attempts to increase inclusivity and diversity with its characters, plots, and settings didn't sit well with some fans, right? Which is basically he's talking about us. But Hazma insisted it was a welcomed change to the BBC show. Speaking exclusively to Digital Spy, who is the shill for the BBC, by the way, might I add. They're so far up the BBC's arse, it's unbelievable. He said, there are always going to be people with opinions saying we didn't see it this way and we don't believe that, but I felt really confident about it and really excited to be part of it and make a little bit of history. You think there was no characters of different cultures ever in Doctor Who before or even behind the scene, but this is all new, apparently. He added, now this is the part I love, right? Because it just goes to show you the attitude of the people that are making this show. So it says, I remember the creative team were very much excited by the fact that that they knew there would be people who would not be as excited. I will read that line again. I remember the creative team were very much excited by the fact that they knew that there would be people who would not be as excited. They would want it to be just the way Doctor Who was before. But they, the crew, wanted to change things up, and they wanted to open it up to a whole new audience as well. So there may have been some audience lost, but there has been so much gained as well for the better. Well, I don't know what ratings you have been looking at, my friend, but when you start off with nearly 11 million and you finish off with 5.5 or 5.3, whatever it was, that's over half of your fandom gone. See, this is the attitude. It's that last paragraph, though, right? It's their attitude. They knew that people would have a problem with it, but they still made it. Also, right, he talks about the fact that they knew that some fans would walk away, but they gained some fans. I don't see that in the ratings. I don't know where you're getting that from. It's clearly on the decline, and it's been on the decline not since Whittaker's era. It's been on the decline since the end of Matt Smith's era, let's be honest, right? And it's just been on a steady decline ever since, and there's no denying that it's still in decline, right? And I don't care which way people spin this. It's there in black and white. It's there in black and white. But it just goes to show you that. See, here's the whole point. I thought the whole point of writing Doctor Who, right, was for that little first part that he said, was to include everybody. Right? So then why go from saying that? You go from saying that, and then in the very next line, then you go, well, the crew knew that some of the fans would walk away, basically, and they don't give a shit. And that's their attitude. And this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the politics that were in Series 11. Also, we'll talk about the politics in past eras, as I said, even from RTD era all the way up into Moffat's era, and also we'll do Classic Who. Now, I also want to make this clear tonight. I don't want any conversation on Jodie Whittaker. I don't want Jodie Whittaker brought into this conversation. We're going to concentrate on Chris Chibnall, the production team, and the politics, as I said. There is no need to be bringing up Jodie Whittaker in this conversation, as we're going to be actually looking at the politics side of it. Now, I know she is part of it, but I'd rather concentrate on the writing, you know, the attitude, the actual individual episodes, and the way they were written. Right, that's basically what I want to concentrate on tonight. So this is who I have in order in the list. As I said, I'm going to get you on now in a few minutes. I normally go for another 15, but I'm not. I'm going to get you all on 15 minutes each. So I have Yvette, Problem Being, Neil, Daniel, Bluebonnet, Whovian, Gary, Paul, and Marty are all coming on tonight. So we're going to get straight to it. So that's what the conversation is about. So I want to kind of stick it to that tonight. So obviously as well, though, this conversation is going to be very interesting, because I will actually be able to see as well who actually watched, because I'll know what you're talking about, because I watched the whole series. So if you haven't watched the whole series and you're on the list, oh, right. Right, the order that I called the names out is the order that the names are going in, by the way. I have to get I have to get through these calls as quick as possible, 15 minutes each, because I can't go over the time now tonight, because there's some people that will be going to bed in the next hour. So I have to try get them on as well, right? What? Say the names, I'll take them in. Right, so the names in order. And Cheryl is going to write them down in the live chat as well. So Yvette is first. Then we have Problem Being. Then we have Neil. Then Daniel. Bluebonnet Whovian. Gary. I know when she's gone on to the next name because she stops talking. Paul. And Marty. Posted the link to the article in the chat, and I'll post it in the comments after this. Right, well, apparently Cheryl posted that link, that article that I was talking about, in the live chat. So for all you people that are watching in the distance but are not actually in the live chat, if you want to actually go and have a look at that article, you can go and have a look at that article. So yeah, especially you, not Neo. Right, so actually I have to ask, because I mean, we're talking about the politics now tonight. So remember, folks, I just want to make it clear, we're talking about the politics tonight of the show, right? I don't want Jodie Whittaker brought into it. We just want to concentrate on Chibnall, his writing team, the kind of politics that they go with. But before I do that, I will do the usual shout outs, and then we'll get cracking. All right. And come here, Donna, as well, if you can, I know I'm kind of putting some of you on the spot here, but I want this to be, done properly tonight. So I don't want you to just come on and just say the usual thing about politics being in the show. I want examples, right? And I want the examples that upset you or annoyed you or really you think have no place in Doctor Who. Because everybody can just come on and say, oh, the politics, this, that, I want specifics tonight. So we have Bad Wolf, Stephen Cassidy, Unknown 289. It won't let me go any further up, but I know usernames are down further down, so I don't want you to tell me that I missed you. I will get you all. Daniel, we got Paul, we've got Yvette here as well. Welcome, and get well soon, Paul. Bad Wolves, I mentioned Bad Wolf 66. Welcome as well, mate. Nice to have you back. Bluebonnet, Whovian. Care for a jelly baby. Care for a jelly baby. Welcome. I love the way you put that. It confuses me brain sometimes. Because sometimes I see it as A4. Rocker Runner's here. The wife is here. Welcome, Mrs. Stephen Cassidy is here as well. Yeah, Rebecca Vardy is a bit of a mouth, all right, isn't she? I'm reading all that stuff about what she's done. She's an idiot. Fair play to Colleen Rooney for being so smart to isolate the account so she knows it's actually her. Epic. That's how you catch one of your friends out doing the dirty on you. We've got Daniel as well. I think I mentioned Daniel. Charlotte is here as well. Tardis is here. Welcome, Tardis. Not my Doctor Who. Who else have we got? I know there's many more. We're getting closer now. Let me see. Dane is here as well. Welcome, Dane. Nice to have you again. We got Michelle. Who else have we got? Gary as well. I don't know if I mentioned your name, but I've just seen a whiz boy there, so I'll just give you another shout out there, pal. Marty is here as well. Yeah, not Neo is I don't want. Yeah, I don't want. Look, I just don't want YouTubers' names being mentioned on this channel anymore. So I'm just gonna come up with little code names for them. So not Neo is for you know who. So because I can. Problem Being is here as well. Welcome, Problem Being. I have you down on the list. So don't worry. Tardis is here as well. You should set up a messenger, man, and come on some night and have a chat. Mrs. Not My Doctor Who as well is here. Actually, I was talking to Neil before I came on. We had a bit of a laugh. I was messing with all the face changing apps and stuff. Yeah, I'm a big kid at heart. Unknown 289. Breaking news. Chibnall found Las Vegas to be too expensive. For all this time, he was actually staying in a dirt cheap hotel called Rock Vegas in Cardiff, Wales. He has resurfaced, trust me. Super John is here as well. And for anybody actually that's new to the channel, if you haven't checked out my interview that I done recently, it's a real eye-opener. Go and check it out. I won't give any spoilers, but it's well worth listening to. The Dr. AC is here. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Chuckzilla is here as well. Welcome as well. Jeez, a lot of you have come out tonight, haven't you? Fair play to you. 37 watching, 25 likes. Let's see, can we get it level 20? Come on.
26 for Ted really can't come on and it already went up 4.
I tell you what, if he's acting a bit weird over there, right? If he's give the video another 5 more likes, right? So that brings it up to 31. I'll try get him. Renee is here as well. Welcome, Renee. Nice to have you here. Welcome. We've got Paul. So I think I've given everybody a shout out now. Is Chibnall at the BAFTAs? I don't know, but I do know he has reappeared anyway. We did discuss that in the interview. That's what I'm saying. If you haven't watched that interview, seriously, you after this live stream, or if you haven't got time tonight, get around to that live stream, that interview, and actually watch it. And do us a favor as well, give it a share as well. It's done very well anyway. The videos. Actually, someone sent me a graph to how good my videos are actually doing compared to a few others out there. It was actually funny when I actually looked at it. I wouldn't put it up because that's gone too far, But I would normally, but I've been asked not to, so I won't. I won't. Super John says no. It's just Jody and Manip. Oh, is the BAFTA is the Welsh BAFTAs on tonight? Is that on telly? Because if it is, I might actually have it on in the background there. Is it on telly? Beam me up, Lucas. Welcome, mate. First time viewer of the channel. Doctor Who is my favourite until Jodie and Chibnall. Just watching the older ones now. Welcome, mate. A lot of people do feel like that, unfortunately. But I wouldn't be dismissing, Christopher Eccleston's era or David Tennant's era or Matt Smith's era or even Peter Capaldi's for that matter. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there is some fans of Series 11. Obviously, she does have fans because, like, the ratings show that the show does have fans. But it'll be interesting to see how many of them actually stay on board for the next series. See, this is the thing. People are hoping because they and our supporters are hoping, because they've mentioned all these different villains that are supposed to be coming back and all this, and the leaked of the Cybermen, we've seen the leaked photographs of the Cybermen, but we talked about this obviously on this channel months ago. But like what I'm saying is that, it seemed to be putting all their eggs in the basket and hoping that it's an overwhelming success. There is a danger, and I've said this, and I mean this sincerely. There is a danger that all these villains could overshadow the person that we won't name tonight. So I mean, it could backfire, and it could even make it worse and expose even more weaknesses. See, nobody has looked at it that way either, but they'll always refuse. Right, gonna get on Air Force caller and just get straight on with it. And Yvette is Air Force caller, so let's hear what Yvette has to say about obviously the politics in New Who and how she actually feels and why she doesn't actually enjoy the show now. And this is the point of this stream. I want people to discuss why they don't enjoy the show now as well. All ties in together. So because, there's channels out there that'll make you believe that this series is an overwhelming success, that this show, has been nothing but perfect in some people's eyes. I mean, I read something there. Someone sent me something of two people that are on Twitter that I won't mention either because they get accused of bullying them as well. But they put up an article, and one of the loose ends, I'll actually read it. Before I get the call. I'll actually read it because it's so bloody stupid, right? That this is the loose end basically that you're worried about, right? And these are the kind of people that we have writing in Doctor Who magazine. Like it's actually ridiculous. I mean, you don't even have to have intelligence anymore, right? So this is the article. So it's basically guaranteed to stick in people's hearts. Series 11 has been a whirlwind of exciting adventures for Who fans old and new. A highlight has been Whittaker's performance, one guaranteed to stick in people's hearts forever. The episode, It Takes You Away, gave her a speech full of wonder and persuasion, which confirmed she is the perfect choice for the role. The connection between the Tardis team brings a family feel to the show that is lovely to watch and follow each week. Episodes have been beautifully crafted, fun, rewatchable, and thought-provoking. Could it be better? Perhaps. So there's a perhaps in there, right? But this is the perhaps, right? So, oh, by the way, Tardis, no, this is not a joke article. I will send it to you later on and you'll see who it's from. But what I will say to you is if you do decide to put it up on Twitter, just do me a favor. Just blur out the person's face because you know what? You know, you've seen it the way it is on Twitter right now at the moment, right? I've had to lock my account right now. It's gone that bad. I just don't want you getting any backlash, right? Could it be better? Perhaps, right? Adventures sometimes don't feel wrapped up. Why would the doctor leave a blind girl with a father who isn't capable of looking after her? Right? So that's the loose end she's worried about. What about all those spoilers in Sheffield? Overall, though, the series has been entertaining and it feels like as if this era is only just getting started. So our only worry is the fact, and our only loose end is the fact that she's questioning why the doctor would leave a blind girl with her father. Right? This is the kind of rhetoric that comes out of this gobshite's mouth all the time. Right? And just to alert anybody that actually watches me videos, you know who this person is because this person, along with another person, begged for money. Right? Not mention their names. I don't have to mention their names. I'm not breaking any YouTube rules. I've checked. I could say things, you know, and I basically once I don't mention names, and I'm not saying it in a way that's. I'm just telling it as it is, right? This is the kind of rhetoric that comes out of that bullshit mouth, right? Right. That's the only loose end. That's the loose end. Or the biggest one for me would, how can you get from episode 1, it takes you away, right, with Tim Shaw, and then have him in the last episode and only mention the stands or waltz or something through the whole fucking series. Sorry, the dog gets annoyed when I get annoyed. But that's the loose end. And that's what annoys me with these people. They're writing in magazines and all. They're influencing the behavior. They're influencing the fandom, right? The way they think with stupid articles like that. So basically, what this person is basically saying, well, why did the doctor leave the blind girl with a toxic father? Because that's what she did, didn't she? Give out to the father. She gave the father a dressing down. And what did he say? She's not a child. She's a teenager and she's well capable of looking after herself. There's food in the fridge. Hey, Ted. Say hello to your odd. No, everybody wants to say hello. Come here. I know you're a bit annoyed at me because I'm shouting. I'm sorry. Look, I'm calm. See? I'm calm. You're calm. I'm calm. Good boy. That's it. Breathe. Breathe. Right. Yeah. But you see, this is why I get so annoyed, and this is why I get annoyed at people that defend this, because it's this kind of rhetoric that they're coming out with. This what I said. Do you remember what I said? That this toxicity comes down to the people that are involved in this show, right? With articles like that. With the article with saying that what a way to refresh the franchise, little articles like that, right? This is what I'm talking about. The whole package, the politics, the rudeness of this production team. I'm going to get on my first caller because I'm dying to hear what you all have to say tonight, because I'm really this one. I'm hoping this one is going to be a good one. I know it is. Right, so let's do it. I'm going to get Yvette on. Right, 15 minutes each, right? Just going to bang the calls in. Bang, 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 bang. Get you all on tonight. I want to hear from you all. And let's do this.
Hello.
Hello, Yvette. Welcome to the Tardis Zone, the real Whovian phone in. How are you?
I'm well, Noel. Hello, everyone. Nice to be on.
By the way, I wouldn't be a gentleman if I didn't notice that you got your hair done. Your hair looks well, I have to say.
Thank you very much, Noel. Actually, it's not a new hairdo. It's just my hair's grown, and I took a picture yesterday to update my profile picture because it was a few months old.
So you're
My hair grows very quickly.
like me when you're going live or you're taking a picture, you comb your hair, because I don't normally comb my hair until I go live. You know, I need a
Well, my
haircut
hair's
now. It's
actually
starting to grow.
really curly. My sister likes to straighten it, so
Yeah.
it's not usually that flat.
Yeah.
But thank you for noticing. I do appreciate it.
No
Right.
problem. Right, let's get straight into this.
Yeah,
So you've listened to the
totally.
article. Obviously, we've heard all the rhetoric that's come out of this production team and Chibnall's mouth, Jodie Whittaker's mouth, and Pierce Wenger's mouth. I mean,
And all the other stuff we know about.
yeah, what my question would be is like, why now with all these? I mean, this article in particular 2 days ago. Why now? Why not at the time? I know there was articles at the time, but why do you think the media are drumming this kind of stuff up again? Because you've seen the articles, and I've actually made references to it. A lot of the articles seem to be talking about scheduling, you know, how it was tough for the other doctors, and now we have this rubbish.
Yep. My guess, an educated guess, is because the BBC aren't going to say anything until, well, you know when, and they've got nothing better to do, and this is the only thing they can put out, and to annoy one side of the group or annoy the other side of the group. It doesn't matter what they're doing article-wise. I've seen articles for and against, and you know, and that one I sent to you about Comic-Con London. I mean, Tosin Cole isn't even mentioned.
No, he's in the, see, this one is the one at the end of October. There's two, so there's a spring one. He's at the spring one. But I wanted to ask you, so Doctor Who Series 11, right?
Yeah.
Now I
can go on that. I watched it. I've only watched it the once.
So okay, right, you watched it once, but at least you've watched it, right? So
yeah, I watched it all the way through. The politics. I'm going to start with Rosa.
Right, go on.
Because I have really made me mad, that episode, because the historical events were wrong. The villain was just nothing. No description, just a white alien male from the future. I mean,
a space racist.
My God! I mean, they just took a huge, dirty, great shite on history, American history, and it must have pissed most Americans off. It pissed me off because they didn't even get the history right. The same with the Punjab. You know,
Demons of the Punjab.
Oh, it was just all, and the witch finders. All of them wound me up because they're historical events that are real.
Right. Well, I have to say, I will defend Rosa in a way now, Yvette. And you know me, I don't particularly like Rosa either. But I have spoken to some Americans, and obviously my wife is American. The actual event, the Rosa actual event, the bus part and stuff, Americans didn't mind that stuff.
Now that was right, but it wasn't all right.
But I'd like to hear from. See, this is where I've always said I would like to actually hear from an African American perspective.
Yeah,
you know, because it's related to their history. And you know, for me to have a villain, just to have a villain, because Eddie of Scarrow obviously explained this very well. And again, it's in the interview. He breaks down individual episodes as well. We talk about the historical episodes, and he breaks them down. And he basically said the reason why they had to bring in a villain was because some Doctor Who episodes, it's a fixed point in time. It happens, so the doctor can't directly get involved in the actual stuff. You know what I mean? The actual event.
Yep.
So the fact that they had to bring in a space racist to basically, you know, so she could get involved, but not get involved in a way that disturbs from the main event. I just, don't get me wrong, I thought the bus part, and I keep saying this, I didn't mind the Rosa episode. I did think that it did kick a punch when they came straight out and used the N word, and I thought, really, so we're really gonna actually do this in Doctor Who? Okay, right? I didn't mind that. I thought, okay, fair enough. He has me attention, right? I will admit that. But then as soon as the space races, I was like, really? I actually thought it was going to be a good episode until space races showed up.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't even mind. He couldn't kill the Doctor because he had something in his head or something. Wasn't it an implant or something that would kill him, like, if he went in there? So he's choking the life out of her, and I'm there, please keep going so she regenerates. And he can't. He has to put her down.
No.
But
no.
the music round it. But is that the episode that really annoys you? Is the Rosa one? Because I'm finding with a lot of Doctor Who fans that I have spoken to, they do seem to have a problem with.
Not the most hated. Not the most hated.
No, but
the most hated one.
Oh, I think I know what
was the Dalek one, because I am a Dalek fan, as you well know. And what they did to that poor bloody Dalek, I really wanted the Dalek to win. I was rooting for that Dalek to kill everyone.
The only thing I like about Resolution, and I've said this, and people can slate me if they want to, I really don't care, as you all know. But the one thing I did like about it was it actually made the Daleks scary again. And the Daleks, let's be honest, haven't been scary in a long, long time. I didn't like the design. I will never like that horrible design. I don't know what he was
wearing a skirt.
I don't know what he was thinking, to be quite honest with you. But
no.
The Dalek itself, the actual
the weapons were cool.
Brilliant. I couldn't fault that, but the rest of the story just lacked, and the reason for fucking unit going absolutely pathetic.
Awful, bloody awful. And then I'm gonna bring up the Tooth Fairy, because whoever came up with that, I would not get tired of slapping forever.
Yeah.
That was just ridiculous. Well, I'm sorry, most of the new monsters. Jesus Christ, a metal ball you could kick through a door. Talking frog. Pregnant man. I just, I've only seen it once, and
the pregnant man is a young Chris Chibnall. Did you not notice that?
Was okay. That's the only thing I can say. Okay. And if she wasn't in it, it might have actually been okay. But
here's a question for you.
Chibnall is so poor, so lazy. And their idea of creating new monsters that was so laughable. My God, I used to hide behind the sofa as a child. I mean, I can see kids just laughing and wanting one as a toy to play with. That is not how it should be.
Yeah, true. I was going to ask you something. We about these articles, and I need to bring it back to the articles because it's kind of, this is what I wanted to do this, because it's important that we actually bring up the articles, right? Why do you think since Jodie Whittaker has been announced as the Doctor, that we've had so many articles, kind of trying to justify this version of the Doctor? I mean, they bring up the politics, and this is why I wanted to do this, right? So let's talk about the politics of the classic era, right? Because there was politics in the classic era. I think what these New Who fans are, well, I won't even call them New Who fans, I call them Jodie bots. I think what these Jodie bots don't realise is that the type of politics that he did back in the day, right, are completely different to the politics that we're actually dealing with now. The politics that we're dealing with now are only, let's say, they're only there's only a certain demographic of people that like those politics. Yeah, you need
they're destroying everything around the planet. It's not just Doctor Who; it's every decent show ever. except Supernatural, thank God. And that's ending this year at season 15, but they never got their claws into that. But apart from that, I mean, they've destroyed the MCU, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek. Oh my God, you know, all the great shows have been destroyed by these. I haven't even got a word for these people, because I think we're living in a society today where you can't speak any opinion without being brought down if you don't agree with what's politically correct. Sorry, I'm doing the frigging quote signs here and you can't see me. Thanks, Cheryl. And also the politics is season 11. I sat there with my gob open with the Brexit joke and the Donald Trump stuff. I mean, what the hell were they thinking?
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that it was a direct reference is what we're trying to point out here. You know, whereas Doctor Who classic era, they had a subtlety, they had a subtle way of doing it within the context of the story that they were trying to tell within the confines of the show. Now they have changed all the parameters.
Like Star Trek, the original Star Trek, exactly the same. Very subtle political or social meanings. And Doctor Who did it the same. I mean, they both ran virtually at the same time. There was about 6 months difference in the launch. But they both did it very subtly.
Well, both shows are crippled now.
I don't think people are capable of actually doing that now or writing that now, because the writing is I could write better Doctor Who.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yvette, I used to think like you and think that there's no great writers out there. I'm sorry, there are. The problem is they're being overshadowed by these mediocre writers, and the reason why they're being overshadowed with them is because these writers will sell their soul to get a top job, where there's other writers out there that do not believe and buy this bullshit and actually have integrity and won't, they won't compromise their writing for for politics.
There aren't good writers out there. I'm saying the team they brought in for season 11, which was Chibnall's choice, was just appalling.
Well, they weren't up to standard. Sure, half of them had never written in a series before. This is the thing. You got people that had never even written in a series before. Look.
Which is all down to Chibnall. It's all his bleeding fault.
Yeah, well, BBC shouldn't have really called these bluff, bleeding idiots. Or he called the BBC his bluff. Imagine that. He gives, right, so for anybody that's new to the channel, right, so we found out during the interview, again, I keep referencing that interview because I do want people to watch that interview. People will try discredit it and will try say, oh, don't be listening to that interview. They don't want you to hear the information that's actually in it because they're terrified of the information that's in it, right? But go and listen to it.
Of it, Noel, it was a long interview.
Yeah, the end of it is very interesting, Yvette, though. You should go back and watch the end of it because there's a lot of stuff.
I'm getting through it. I have I squeeze your videos in at 2 and 3 in the morning in between coffee breaks and other things I'm doing. As you know, because you'll see me watch the video usually before everyone else when you posted it at 3 in the morning.
I think what Doctor Who needs to do anyway, just to finish up, I just think Doctor Who needs to go back to the basics. I mean, after they kind of scrapped the historics and they kind of went full sci-fi, look, they always did there was always a political theme going through Doctor Who. There always has been. That's the way the show always changes with the times. But the difference is that there just seems to be that this show is just for people with a certain ideology and classic Who fans. And I know there's classic Who fans that watch this show and enjoy it, and that's fair enough, right? But they know it's no classic Doctor Who, right? They'll enjoy it because it has the name Doctor Who, right? I don't have a problem if you do like the show. What I do have a problem with is when you constantly go out then and you slate others and slander others for basically not liking the show. The writing's not up to my standards anyway. I've been used to, as I said, the writing the last couple of years I've went
to any television show standards, and that's the bottom line. And I'm not going to watch it again. I'm not putting myself through that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Yvette. It was nice having you on talking about Doctor Who. A little bit different than our usual conversations because we normally, when Yvette comes on, we normally have a bit of science from Yvette. But it was nice to have you on talking about Doctor Who. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, no, my pleasure, Noel. Thanks for having me. And bye to everyone.
Bye.
And Gerald, kisses.
Mwah.
And Teddy.
Good night.
All right, you get your other people on now.
I will indeed. Good night, Yvette.
Good night, Noel.
And that was Yvette, everybody, our first call of the night. So again, it's the kind of team that we want to run with, you know, and if people want to give me examples, I see Mr. Not My Doctor is here as well. Welcome. Welcome. Right, we'll get straight on to the next caller. Who is the next caller? Right. What?
I said, I take that off.
Half of them were political playwrights with no TV writing credits. Exactly, Daniel. Exactly. All right, so yeah. All right, next call. We're just gonna go straight with it.
Hello, Noel.
How are you? Welcome to the Real Whovian phone in. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm not too bad.
Look at that. We can actually talk over the phone without having some satellite link up. Fuck up.
I know, yeah. Hopefully now it works out. I've rebuilt my phone before we started, so I've made sure that it's right. So you've kind of problem being. Oh, by the way, yes, sorry, folks. It's problem being here. So, will I give them your first name? Just let them know who you are. Or do you just want to go?
Lee.
So it's Lee. It's Lee that just be in the chat under problem being is on. New caller, by the way. Second call in, but new caller, relatively new caller. So you've heard what we've been talking about tonight, or you've heard what I wanted people to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I've made a list.
Right, go ahead. No, I love lists. We love lists on this channel. We had lists before on this channel.
It helps.
That's fireworks.
I've got a brain that doesn't work, so that helps. Well, having said that, going back to Chibnall, his whole sort of vision seems to be rather stunted into one sort of social justice area, and this is not something that only happens in the science fiction community, in the media, in the films. It's happening in science, as well. I was reading an article on Twitter from Nature magazine, and Nature is the de facto #1 science periodical. Okay, and there was an article about biology being subjective, and that identity is important, and it went on and it's this postmodernist thing, even in science. So this is a really dangerous thing. We're sort of entering into a time where we're post facts. And I know in science fiction, facts and things can be sort of malleable, but unfortunately, Chibnall lacks any sort of creative imagination to make that into something worth watching. Now, when we go and look at the Demons of the Punjab, do you know, and I can ask this to the rest of our crew, that this subject has been tackled before in Doctor Who? Did you know that?
What, Demons of the Punjab? You mean the Petition of India?
The Petition of India.
I'm gonna be honest here now. I'm back watching Classic Who again, so you'll have to remind me, and I bet you'll watch the episode.
Watch The Mutants. Okay, that's a John Pertwee story, The Mutants, with Jeffrey Palmer in it. And that deals with it was written specifically about the partition of India, but set in a science fiction context. So again, they're using analogy and subtle references to put across this particular story about the partition of India. So this has already been done in Doctor Who. But the way that it was done in a very clever, well-crafted, written way. I mean, it's not necessarily one of the better John Pertwee episodes. But having said that, it does show you that if you use creative processes, you can actually write a decent story without having to sort of whack you over the head with the politics of it. Because it makes you think outside of the box, it makes you look at the subject in a different way, and you can sort of extract yourself from the events of post-colonialism and all this kind of stuff and look at it objectively in a science fiction context, which works. Something that Chibnall lacks is subtlety. And so, as a writer, you need that.
So with all that you've just said there, I'll put a question to you, and you'll be able to obviously answer this because you have clearly looked into this very well. And I love when people actually have looked into it because it makes for a better call. So for Demons of the Punjab, where did Chris Chibnall, where do you think he went wrong? Can you give examples of where you think he went wrong?
Well, I can't actually answer that specifically because I didn't watch it. I gave up watching After Arachnids in the UK simply because I thought I did what I said I was going to do, which was to give it a chance.
Right.
I think 4 episodes in, I'd given it my chance. But what I can talk about and what I can talk to is if we look at the sort of direction of going down the historical route, it's all well and good doing historical Doctor Who, but if you're going to do it through a postmodern lens and this sort of identity politics lens, which has been put through, you mangle history. You put a very modern 21st century view on it, and we can't do that because it's unless you put yourself in the mind of a person living in those times, you're projecting a particular political viewpoint and a particular outlook, and it's like any old sort of computer stuff. If you put garbage in, you get garbage out, and unfortunately, Chibnall's very good at putting the garbage in and getting the garbage out. Now, that's not to say that the subject matter itself isn't worthy or warrants looking at and being dealt with sensitively, and it's admirable in a sense that it is done, but it's already been done. It's already been done and done a lot more cleverly and subtly back in the 1970s with Pertwee. But I want to sort of mention as well that these sort of things, people will watch these things and get more and more quietly right. What these people don't seem to understand is that there's a vast silent majority of people who aren't as vocal as these fanatical people. That they reject being told what to think and what to do, and this is very counterintuitive to those who think they know better than everyone and think that they're being like teachers to us. People don't like being preached at.
True.
That's first and foremost. And the thing with Rosa Parks as well was it not disrespectful to her memory to put her in a science fiction context and put all this alien woo-woo around it, and and then not only that, disrespectful to her memory, but disrespectful to Martin Luther King, who talked about how people should be judged by the color of the skin, but the content of their character. And not one white character in that American town was fighting on for the rights of
I know, that was true. That was a misrepresentation as well, and that's what I didn't like. That's
the only subtlety that they do is subtly, forgetting to mention the fact that there were many, many people who were fighting on the side of black rights, and to make it so one-sided.
Yeah.
I mean, not so, we don't necessarily want to see the represented views of actual race, not space racists from the future who, have no backstory or whatever, but actual people, and they're totally excluded. Every single representation of the white male patriarchy, inverted commas, sorry, Yvette, I can't do the thing, was a vile bigot. And this is dangerous stuff. This is sending out a message to young white kids watching it. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
Or look at your history. Isn't it bad? Aren't you awful? And it's not just that one episode. Like every episode, almost seems to sort of relegate not just white men, but fathers in general as being these sort of archetypal, bad, negative stereotypes. And it plays on that episode after episode after episode. Now, you think you've dealt with one subject, you move on to another, but it's not. It's constant. It's the one thing the series lacks, obviously, is an overarching story. Yeah. But what it has instead, it has this overarching message, which is very insidious and not at all honest. It's very disingenuous, and it just makes you think that these people who stand up for that series haven't watched the Happiness Patrol, because they are acting like the Happiness Patrol, exactly like that. I urge everyone to go and watch that story from the Seventh Doctor, because I think that's so relevant to today. Now, that was political. That was actually sort of anti-Thatcher thing at the time.
Yeah.
But again, done in a totally science fiction.
Exactly.
Context.
That's
and you can also use that on any situation politically, and it doesn't necessarily have to relate to fact. We know where it comes from, but it can also sort of relate to other issues or other countries or other times.
Yeah.
So it's a human condition issue rather than just a political. I watched. I did try and watch Witchfinders with my mum, who absolutely hates Doctor Who.
Right.
She objectively hates it. She sat there, and after 10 minutes we switched it off. She said, I can't watch that. It's boring stuff. She likes science fiction. She loves loads of the science fiction stuff. Like, she loves The Expanse. Like, she was wetting her knickers over The Expanse new series coming out. So, and it's just embarrassing. And like how these people can justify how creative, and like that article you read about, how exciting it was. Like, at what point do you lose 50% of your viewing audience
and get excited
over?
It's
so exciting.
That's like, what I mean. There's just
from reality.
It's just like, do you know what? I said this from day one. Do you know what BBC were hoping, right? Or Chris Chibnall was hoping, right? Because it's down to Chris Chibnall, right? This is what he was hoping. He knew that there'd be fans like me that wouldn't like this and would walk away. Now, in fairness to me, 3 weeks up until the series was about to air, I was still adamant I wasn't watching that show, right? Seriously, 3 weeks, and what was it? I think it was the night before. Then I said, "F it, I'll have to watch it, because if I don't watch it, I won't be able to criticize." Or yeah. I actually, me and Cheryl had a bit of an argument that night, because I was sitting there, right, watching me dreams fall apart, right, and die in front of me, and there's Cheryl like a little girl when she's doing her 13th Doctor speech.
I never once clapped like that.
You really were clapping like that, right? Okay, but I can't do it.
Every doctor that we've seen in their first series has had a major speech.
Yeah,
had a massive, amazing monologue that really tells you who they are, and we haven't had any of that with her.
Exactly.
Nothing. It's all just snappy phrases.
Exactly.
Gurney, face, dodgy face ache, facial expressions. I won't call it by any other name. But it needs to get. back to that gravitas, during the Baker Hinchcliffe era, it was gothic and creepy, and it worked.
Yeah.
It was exciting because it was dangerous. There was a sense of real danger and a sense of threat and creepiness, and it was music and lighting, and it was dark, and it was thunderstorms and crazy monsters and Morbius and all this kind of stuff. And that was really exciting. That was thrilling, and that's missing. I'd say go back to Hinchcliffe if you want classic era sort of feeling to new Doctor Who. You can't overlook what made it successful in the first place.
Exactly.
So I think you need to go back to that period and really look at that and really analyze it. Yeah, update it, bring it up to date, and bring in a male Doctor again. Make the Doctor what he should be. I wasn't against the idea of the Doctor being a woman. I actually thought creatively and imaginatively it could have been written in that Peter Capaldi could have regenerated into Missy. When she came out of the Tardis saying, "Hello, I'm Doctor Who," I thought she was fabulous as that. And a lot of people might scoff at that or be incredulous to that and didn't like her as the Master or thought she'd be better as the Rani, which is a mistake because the Rani was a very serious scientist. Michelle Gomez is the least serious person on the planet. But I think that I don't know. I noticed when you last see Missy with Peter Capaldi's Doctor, and she holds his hand, it looks as if she's passing something to him, like it could have been a watch, or her dial or something like that. And I thought that would turn into something. Now, if she'd have come out, if she'd have regenerated into looking like Michelle Gomez, that would have been a really good way of writing into the story why, he became a woman. That would have been interesting, at least narratively speaking. Not necessarily the right thing to do, but I mean, if you were determined to make the Doctor into a woman, that would have been at least a good way of doing it. But I'll say one more thing about Chibnall, and this I heard from third hand. Okay, so I can't speak to its authenticity, but when he wrote the episode "Dinosaurs on a Spaceship," went out, I had a friend who said his friend was a script writer. And he sent in to the BBC a script. And do you know what it was called?
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. And you never heard a word from them at all. Never a response. And then he watched that episode come out and his jaw dropped. He said, "That's exactly what I wrote." But it wasn't meant as a Doctor Who thing. It was meant as a totally separate science fiction story.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow. And what a bombshell.
But I can only say what I was told.
No, and what a bombshell to leave it on, Lee. Lee, we've actually ran out of time there, mate. Listen.
That's all right.
Absolutely fantastic.
I'll say one more thing to you. When dealing with those Twitter hentai porn watching obsessed furries, don't engage. Right? They're anonymous. They're only there to troll you. Don't take any notice.
I know. I've stopped now. I've done all of it. I think I've made my point clear anyway.
Good,
I think they know.
It's been a pleasure now.
Thanks very much, man. Thanks for coming on.
No worries at all.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
And I agree with Yvette too. Nice one.
Good night.
Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Lee, everybody. Problem being, great call, mate. Absolutely fantastic points made there. Again, this is the type of call. Brilliant call. Right, again, I'm just going to fire off. Amy, I have put you on the list. I heard you want to come on. I have you on the list. So we'll just keep going. We're getting through these calls quick anyway. So now we have...
Hello, Noel.
Hello, Neil. Not my Doctor Who. Welcome to the Real Whovians phone in. How are you, my friend?
I'm not bad, mate. Long time no speak.
Not a long time no speak. What was it? 4 hours ago? The wife went down to the...
I wasn't going to mention that bit.
Anyway, right, let's get on with that anyway. So,
right.
Right, so you know what we're talking about tonight. So what would you like to say? Sorry.
Well,
I'm gonna die.
I mean, obviously, what you've asked to talk about is probably my pet hate subject. I don't like talking about the politics, but I will do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I mean, if we start with obviously Series 11,
Right.
the biggest thing I read in any article that was about Series 11 was the word preaching.
Right.
That was what it seemed to crop up in every article you ever read, that it was preaching what they were trying to get across.
Yeah.
Now that's the difference between what Doctor Who used to do and what Series 11 was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you start with obviously we've got the whole diversity lecture straight away with mixed Tardis crew, and the fact that we've got the first female Doctor, so we've got the diversity one ticked straight away. Then you move on to obviously with the hated white man, which is in literally the second episode, where you've got sort of the really evil white man. I can't even remember his name because, like Yvette, I've only watched that series once. I refuse to watch it again.
Actually, that seems to be a trend with especially fans like us. We've only actually watched it the one time. Now, I have tried, I will admit, I have tried to watch it a second time. I can't even get past the first 15 minutes of the first episode.
No, I haven't even tried to watch it a second time.
So,
I mean, this is just, I've literally had to get my notebook out and start jotting down notes to remind myself of what was going on in each episode.
Seriously,
but it was that, because it was that sort of series. It was the sort of series that you just instantly dismissed.
Yeah.
I can remember things from episodes of Doctor Who from sort of 30 years ago that I haven't watched for a long time. But every episode of that series last year, there's nothing that sort of sticks in my mind apart from the obvious ones we've talked about before, like the bad talking frog and nonsense like that. But I had to sort of get it back into my head. So I was just sort of writing down things, and you wouldn't believe the sort of random things I've got written down here. But as I say, you've got the evil white man that was portrayed. Then you've got when you move on to things like Rosa, as quite rightly Yvette and Leah both said, the alien in that was completely non-relevant because they had to put an alien in there because it was supposedly a science fiction program. But that's not the agenda they were pushing for that episode. The agenda they were pushing for that episode was all about the Rosa Parks and the sort of and the civil rights movement. So he throws the alien in there. This is the way Chibnall works. He'll throw something sci-fi in there, but don't give it any kind of backstory. Don't give it any reason for being there, because he thinks that makes it a science fiction episode. But all it does is alienate people like us who are watching it, saying, where was the sci-fi in that episode?
Yeah. I was going to ask you, why do you think all these articles are coming out lately? Do you remember we've been discussing this? I've said it to you, the articles coming out basically, talking about the scheduling of past Doctors. Because, fans have been, as you know yourself, because we're one of them, we have been complaining about how long we've had to wait for a new series. Like Moffat was able to throw one out every year, but Chibnall just doesn't seem to be capable of doing anything like that. Well, why do you think these articles are coming out all of a sudden? Do you think now the BBC now have kind of, instructed their shill media to kind of now start going on the offensive, blame fans, it's fans' fault that, I mean, I put up another article, it was fans' fault that Series 11 failed, by the way.
Well, the thing is, they've done this from the word go with Series 11, haven't they? They've done it since Jodie was announced. If something's gone wrong, it's the fans' fault. It's not the BBC's fault. It's not Chris Chibnall's fault for choosing the first female Doctor. And we know the BBC can never be wrong. They're never going to admit being wrong about anything. So yeah, you're probably right. They throw these sort of articles out now at a point where we know that everything is falling behind because no previous showrunner has left it this close to when there should be something coming out. I mean, who in their right mind has already filmed series 12 and then goes back to film a Christmas special that's coming out before series 12?
Yeah, true.
I don't remember any of them doing it in that order. You know, if there was something due to be out before series 12, they'd have done that first, surely.
Yeah. The thing about it is, again, we keep bringing it up. We haven't even gotten. I mean, as Eddie pointed out, you know, during the end of every series, RTD especially would put out a trailer about what to expect. Now, you heard him say that it was always maybe the first 5 episodes that were in post that they just kind of threw together a trailer. But we don't even have a 10-second little teaser, nothing to even indicate when it's coming back. Even, you know what I mean? Fair enough. If they're behind and on, they're still in production, whatever, don't give a crap. But where's a little, you know, you mean to tell me they haven't even sat down and discussed when they're actually going to put it on? I highly doubt it. They already know when it's coming on. Chris Chibnall is just being Chris Chibnall because, you know, he thinks he's being protective over something that's actually decent.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's what it is. He is, because he hasn't come out. Like, he's back on the scene, right? He's overlooking things, right? So where's the teaser? Who's directing all these idiots that are supposed to be putting these episodes together? Where's the direction?
I think where Chibnall's concerned, I think he's trying to do what he did with Broadchurch. And he's trying to keep everything so secret that you're all really surprised by the time it comes out. But, or should I say, that's what he's making out that he's doing. I think that's what he's making out that he's doing. I worded that wrong. But in actual fact,
he's smart and he's not.
I think it's because there is nothing that would make people want to watch it. I don't think if he put a trailer out now, I don't think there's anything that we'd think, oh God, that looks like it's going to be an amazing series.
Unless he put all the villains in the one fucking trailer and then just said, look who's coming back, just to like roll them all out. Here you go. This is what I'm going to put in series 12, but I'm not actually going to give you a trailer. I'm just going to tell you who's in it. Hey, there you go. Even though you knew these were in it for once, I'm just going to do it anyway.
Which is pretty much what he did last year when he released that one, just showing the names of actors that he was putting in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, the series is going to be brilliant because we've got this person in it, we've got this person in it, we've got this person in it. You know, we've come up with all these brilliant actors to be in it, but unfortunately for you, like, I've written it, so it's going to be crap.
Yeah.
You know, so, but that's what he did last year. The trailer, if you remember, it was that big sort of, look, this person's going to be in, this person's going to be in. And we were all like, we don't care which actors you've chosen to be in it. They're just doing a job. They're getting paid to be in it. We want to see that you've written a good story for them to be in it.
Yeah, true.
So,
I don't know. It was like a lineup for a fucking, you know, international fucking steak dinner or something. Like, you know, just like, I know you want to be inclusive and all this, like, but like, kind of overdoing it a little bit. This is BBC's problem. I'm going to call it out straight. It's gone too far with all this inclusion rubbish, right? But I mean, look, I don't buy into all this rubbish anyway. I never have, right? You mean to tell me that there's been no women out there represented on TV ever or in leads? You mean to tell me in film they've never been represented, right? And you mean to tell me that they've never had any Asian actors on a show before, or they've never had any Indian actors on a show before, or any Chinese actors on a show? Do you know what I mean? Black actors on a show. You think there was none of these actors on any shows? BBC is completely diverse. Should you have a show about a bleeding fucking Indian bleeding family called, what was it called? Mr. Bleeding, whatever his name was. It was funny.
Mr. Khan.
Mr. Khan, that's the one. Yeah. It was funny as crap.
We're talking about a show that started in 1963 that was created by an immigrant, produced by a woman, and directed by an openly gay Asian man.
I know. So
it's not like Doctor Who hasn't been diverse since
I know.
The word go.
This is what I'm talking about. But it's and you know, I don't even mind the politics. as we said, you could do it in a way where it's not in your face. And this is the problem with this era. And if anybody from the BBC ever listens to the fans, that's the biggest problem that we have. That's the biggest. No, of course they're not. Of course they're not. They don't give a crap.
This is why I brought up the first thing I said was that every article I've written, every article I've seen, that's been written about the problems with Series 11, they've all included the word preaching.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. It's like, there was one article I read that actually said it's like they are lecturing to camera.
Yeah.
The cast in it, it's like when they stop to mention something like in the Rosa episode about the things that were going on, it's like they're just giving you a lecture down the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the way they've done politics in Doctor Who. I mean, we know that, yes, they are correct when they say there's always been politics in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But it's been done in such a way, like we know that the Daleks were always, about the Nazis. Like obviously the Green Death episode was about the sort of, the pollution and all that. And then, like as Lee quite rightly mentioned, you've got the anti-Margaret Thatcher in the Happiness Patrol. But it was still done in a sci-fi way.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that actually, what Lee said about the mutants being about the partition of India. And it's quite interesting actually. It is right on the money there, because when you think about the story of the mutants, I don't know whether it's one you've watched recently.
No, I haven't watched it in a while. It's on. I'm actually about. You know what? I'm getting close to Pertwee's era again. So
right, but he's right. He's right. It is one about a sort of them trying to cut loose part of their sort of.
I think I've seen it.
Their sort of conglomeration of planets, which is effectively what they did. So it makes sense that that's what they were basing it on. But like he said, they did it in a sci-fi way.
Yeah.
So, but this, I mean, yeah. I mean, if the same sort of things are brought up in Series 12, if the same sort of things are chucked down your throat, which we already think that they're going to be certain things that we've heard about,
right, then
I can't see Series 12 being anybody's idea of a good series either. So, I mean, it's all, don't forget, this whole thing was all about appeasing a very vocal ideological group.
Yeah.
Who will never approve of what they've done. And that's the most ironic thing about it, because they've done it to sort of please these vocal feminists, but they'll never be happy. They'll never approve of what the BBC have done. Basically, as far as radical feminism is concerned, if there's still a male in the programme, they're not going to like it.
Yeah. Well, here, let's just finish off by just bringing it to the present. So 2020, it looks like it's the last hurrah for the two of them.
Oh, how we hope so.
So what I'll say is that what I wanted to ask you is what are your hopes for Series 12? Do you think they're going to double down? Do you think they'll actually do what's being indicated, but then people hear stuff and then they hear something else and kind of throws them off? Do you think they'll tone it down like it's being talked about, or do you actually think they might double down? Because I think with him gone, he might double down.
I suppose it depends on how much of a free rein they've given him after the disaster of Series 11, doesn't it? Because if they did sort of convince him to come back and sort of oversee things like Eddie was talking about.
Yeah.
If that's the case, it makes you wonder whether they haven't got somebody looking over his shoulder constantly.
Yeah.
And sort of saying, oh, right, well, he's trying to do this in this episode, and then somebody high up comes along and says, no, we're not going to do that, get rid of it, which could explain why Series 12 has taken so long.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I don't know. I don't have any high hopes myself. I'm hoping I'm wrong because obviously you know, I know some other information that sounds actually quite interesting. That if it, as we said, if it works, I think fans will be pleased. But you know, this year it'll go out on a high, and why not? It still won't be remembered. Still won't be remembered. Look, only the people that really like this will remember this. As for fans like us, this will just become like one of those things in the corner. It'll just fade away and it'll die, and we'll never talk about it. It'll be one of those unspoken things in the fandom.
Unfortunately, I think it'll always be remembered for the unlucky 13.
Yeah, and that's what she'll be
like
remembered as, unlucky 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Neil, we've kind of ran out of time.
We have.
And
you've got plenty of interesting people to come on.
I've got more callers to come on now, but listen, thanks for coming on tonight. And
no problem.
We'll obviously have a chat during the week like we did earlier today. We'll have a bit of a laugh, right? So you look after yourself. Talk to you soon, mate.
And you, mate.
And say
bye, everybody. Bye.
Good night, Liz.
She's
already
waving in the background.
All right. I thought she was in bed already. We just said we'll get her out there. Okay. Good night.
All right. Good night, mate.
And that was Neil, everybody. I see there's a new, we got Finn in the chat. Welcome, Finn. Nice to have you on board. I see there's 47 people watching right now. Wow. If you haven't gave the stream a like, you like what you are hearing from the callers tonight. We've got plenty more callers to come. Please give that live stream a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so I don't bite. Even though people out there would say that I do, I'm really a nice guy. Really, I'm a nice guy. So subscribe to the channel as well. We'll have more nights like this. Right, let's bring on. We're just going to keep going. We're like a steam train here right now tonight. And I have to admit, this is one of my favorite callers. Comes on every time. And I think he's already know who I'm all talking about. Because when I say it's one of my favorite callers, you always guess. We'll see if people guess. But another great call from Neil. Listen, all the callers tonight have been spot on so far. I'm liking everything that you are saying to me. I'm hoping that the Jody bots that are listening right now, and as I said, not Neo and all those other YouTubers that are basically calling this a hate channel. I hope you are listening very carefully and you will hear what the fans are actually saying. There's no hate coming out of their mouth. They actually have genuine concerns. Right, so I'm just waiting on my next caller just to see if they're ready. I have to go now. Bye, Noel, Ted, and Cheryl, Stephen, Cassidy. Good night, mate. Have a good one. And here we go. Right, we keep these calls rolling. I have to get through as many as we can.
Hi. How are you tonight?
Hi, Donna. Welcome. I'm fine. Nice to have you here tonight. How are you getting on? How's your weekend so far?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad.
That's good. All right, go get straight into it, Daniel, because I know you'll have plenty to say, mate. So go ahead.
Right. Well, like I'm going to have to echo what the previous caller have said, basically, because I've only seen the series only in the single time, and that was when it aired, basically, because the politics and Rosa really pissed me off, because it wasn't handled it wasn't handled in the the historical stories and stuff like that have been handled in the past. I mean, for example, the first couple of minutes, you see the guy punching wasn't cold right in the face. Now that's not subtle, to be honest with you. And then in the Demons of Punjab episode, like they got the historical accuracy of that even on as well, and basically they decided to focus too much on the real just aspect. There was other sort of actors with the partition of India wasn't just the just aspect. Then you've asked them onward to episode 8 as well, which was another complete abomination as well, and you've got basically either doctor and compel in every 5 minutes that she's been oppressed. Basically, there was no subtlety within that series. Now, if you look within the classic era, topics such as racism, are actually handled with subtlety. Case in point, remembrance of the Daleks for racism, basically. That whole story had racism as a message, but it was done in a subtle sort of way, basically, and the story had came first. Now you see the message as always is before the actual story, and your sci-fi supposed to act as a sort of narrative, or basically, and as well as I said, though, as I said as well, though, Chibnall's writing staff have had no television experience. They were all like air rights or the radio air rights. Now you can actually construct a series without having television rights to help aid you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually found it quite, Chris Chibnall's supposed to be, let's be honest, he's supposed to have experiences, right? Now we've heard the horror stories. Apparently, he left some parts of Law, or he was on Law and Order as well. And apparently there was some problems on that as well. What I can't understand is that when she was cast, right, I don't know how they were able to just be allowed actually to come out with all this rhetoric. I mean, for example, right, we had Piers Wenger that came out and basically slated, and we've talked about this before. See, it all ties in because it's suiting a particular political agenda. Once Chris Chibnall decided to go with a female doctor, BBC were gonna be behind it, whether people say or not. Of course they were, because they're gonna back their man. Of course they're gonna back their man. Like, they're giving him a contract, right? But the thing about it is, Series 11 had its problems, And I've proved that Series 11 has had its problems because on this channel, I actually put evidence up where I can put evidence up, right? So there is a BBC digital radio video that I put up, right? And the woman that's talking in that actually says, because they were talking about the chaos in Cardiff, and she actually said there was problems during the production and the filming of Series 11. So there was even problems then. So...
can I come back?
Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Because as well though, the lack of a series arc also annoyed me, because you need something like to set the hook for every episode, so that it ties together like
a jigsaw.
Like a jigsaw. Basically, that's what good intelligent sci-fi writing is. It's not just individual episodes. It's all got to come together in order for you to get some sort of payoff and action from it, or else there's hardly any point in tuning in, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, but I mean, he wasn't the might I add, actually, the actor that criticized basically told us that, you know, production team didn't give a crap. Do you remember the I can't think of her name, but someone in the comments will probably remind me, or you might know. Do you remember the one remember the episode Kerblam and your woman that was in that? Sure, she came out and she actually... I put that, where she came out and slated for fans, and she basically said it was a load of bollocks. She actually used the word bollocks, I think, in the article. I'll actually find that article for you and remind you and put it back up again. But this is the kind of rhetoric that we've been getting off them. Daniel, why do you think, though, because I forgot to ask all my other callers this as well, why do you think that these actors, and remember, let's be honest, these are guest stars, right? Right, these are guest stars. Why are they coming out so vigorously defending this era and defending the episodes that they're in? Why do you think they're doing that?
Okay, here goes, right. Basically, what I think is because, like, see, the majority of the guest actors, right? They're basically coming towards the end of their year, half of them, right? And half of them just want to stay relevant, and the only sort of avenue to get another acting job is to come out with all the basic, to be honest with you, because half of them in a couple of years will be out of a job, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2020. We heard it here on this channel. We did that interview. Keep referencing that interview for people that haven't watched it. I'll keep saying it to you. Go and watch me interview. With Eddie of Scarrow, of Outpost Scarrow. Very interesting interview. You will absolutely enjoy it. Do me a favor also. Share it as well.
So basically, like, as well, like, I want to just add this as well, like, Chibnall has no respect of this show's history, so if you think he's not going to, if you don't think he's going to destroy these classic villains that are coming back to all the idiots that are defending us, you've got another thing coming, basically, and that's basically the reason even if that I'm not actually going to tune into the next series because basically I've had enough now. It's not really intelligent. It's not really intelligent or engaging. I like sci-fi where you have to sit down and basically figure stuff out and piece things together. You know, I've not even got the opportunity to do that because of the genius because of the genius and showrunner we've got. And by the way, that's sarcasm, to be honest with you.
I'm just saying goodnight to Chuckzilla because he said goodnight to us. So I was just waving. If anybody was wondering why I was waving, I was just waving goodbye to Chuckzilla. If you see me waving, if anybody ever says goodnight and you see me waving, that means I'm saying goodnight to you, right? Because I don't want to be disturbing me caller just in case you're saying goodnight while I have a call on. But listen, Daniel, I agree with everything you've said. The biggest problem with this era is that it's not the type of politics, as we keep saying. Doctor Who has always been political, and we keep going back to this. Now, it doesn't help, and let's concentrate, because I did say I wanted to bring Chibnall into this, right? It is mostly his doing, because he's the one, obviously, that sets the tone for the show. He's the one that brought in his team of writers. Can anybody tell me, because I still ask myself this question, and again, I'll ask all my previous callers as well, if you just want to tell me in the chat, what the hell was Chris Chibnall trying to do with this era? Can you explain to me what you think he was trying to do? Was he trying to destroy the show, or do you think he really had this different vision and he thought it was going to work?
Well, basically, if you pay attention to his kill up on the panel, so again, you know how the 6 minute kill, you know how the 6 minute kill
clip,
well, basically, he said that, as now I'm just going to paraphrase here, that he will want something totally different from a show, basically, and that's what I think inspired him to create such a show. Because by the way, we were so far removed from Doctor Who, it was unbelievable. And if you put up that kill up again, and you'll see what I'm actually trying to suggest.
Actually, I did. I put up an 18-second clip where he slagged the old era, but I changed it that he was actually talking about his own era. It's up. It's only an 18-second video or something, and it's a 50-second video, and it has 171 views.
Yeah.
So go and check it out. It's called Chris Chibnall Briefly Talks About the Serious Finale.
Yeah.
Right. I just put, my little joke videos that I do that everybody gave out about. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, see, when we got to the series finale, it just felt like on event, because nothing tied in before the finale. So what we got in the finale was basically an empty story.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, I agree with you, Daniel. I agree. I mean, it's I still can't get. I just don't know what he was trying to do. It still kind of baffles me because I mean, some people, and just before I let you go, because we ran out of time there, but the fact that some people actually think that this era is as close as Classic Who than any other series that we've had in New Who is laughable. It's laughable. You stuck this era in Classic Who's era, right? Who's the doctor and stuck her in between, say, Pertwee and Baker, or even not Pertwee and Baker. I'll even be fair, right? I'll be fair. Baker and McCoy, right? Whack her in between those two, and it'll still stick out like a sore thumb. Get away saying this here is acting like Classic Who. Don't ever insult Classic Who Jody Bots, because you don't understand the history. You have never watched the show. Never watched the show, because if you watched the show, you wouldn't be watching this crap and calling it Doctor Who. And by the way, subscribe, and all that messages, Wow.
I basically enjoyed my chat with you again tonight, and basically I hope everybody else enjoyed it too, and I'll let you go and get your next over on, because I heard the bell off. So
no problem. I've got loads of people wanting to come on tonight, which is great, because it means I've done less talking, which people actually, which Cheryl likes. Everybody else doesn't mind me talking except my wife. So thanks for coming on, Daniel. Really great points as usual. And listen, I will see you again on tomorrow night, Monday tomorrow.
Yeah, see you again tomorrow night.
No problem, mate. You look after yourself.
Yeah, you did too.
Good night.
Night.
And that was Daniel, everybody. Again, great call from Daniel. Love having Daniel on, because you know what, Daniel makes some great points again as usual. And Daniel, by the way, is been getting into Big Finish, and we've been talking. I always talk to certain people offline, and he's telling me that the stories that he's been listening to are far more superior than anything that he has watched lately from Doctor Who, which in a way is kind of sad as well, because you want the audience to do well, but you also want the main show to be doing well. And we might get accused of hating, but at the end of the day, I would love to see this show succeed. But under this current regime, it's not going to get anywhere. Can it recover from this? I do see that there's some fans in the live chat there. I've been looking and keeping an eye on the live chat. A lot of you have said that you think this era is finished. If I have my hand on heart deep down, I do believe that. But I've got to believe somewhere that, that it can be somehow revived, and it mightn't go back to the days of Pertwee's era, or even Troughton, all of them, but even that quality. But if I got somewhere near, I'd be happy enough at this stage, to be quite honest with you. I mean, look, all I just want to do, and they keep calling it a sci-fi show, right? I would not call this era of Doctor Who sci-fi. Watch. I mean, none of you can even bring yourselves to watch it again. But if you swear to bring yourselves to watch it again, there's about, in the overall series itself, right? If you watched all the episodes, there's about 25 minutes worth of science in the whole show. And not even that. It's techno babble. That she even feels uncomfortable when you see her. Right. Again, I'll just get on my next guest. Keep going. Oh, Jesus Christ, people really want to get my attention. What's all this? I'll have to check it later. I tell you, it's madness. It's madness. These Jody bots don't realize what they've done. They've actually made me get more attention, which is great for the channel. Not for me, obviously, because people are still having a go. Right, let's see. Who have I got next? Bluebonnet Whovian. And then we have, right. So these are the next 4 callers, right? So I need to know off you guys if you are still available, right? So I have Bluebonnet Whovian. I've got Gary. I've got Paul. And Marty said he couldn't ring in tonight because it went out. I should have probably brought Marty on first, but I did promise. I others, so I couldn't really break that. But I have Amy down as well on the list. So if you guys are all still want to come on, let me know. If someone is not coming on, let us know. Gary is at the let me know that he's still coming on, so that's great. You're after Bluebonnet Whovian anyway. So just send me a text message there on Messenger to let me know that you're still coming on. So Bluebonnet Whovian, Gary has already sent me the message, and Paul has already sent me a message. Let's have a look. Yeah, no problem. So Paul is done. So I'm waiting on the two ladies to get back to me. They're probably having a cup of tea or something. Oh no, there you go. Bluebonnet Whovian's got back. I'm not being sexist. I want to have a cup of tea too. Right? It's nothing sexist about saying they're having a cup of tea. What do you think I said? They're going into the kitchen to make a cup of tea and then put a bit of milk and sugar in it and 2 tea bags. I've given you the instructions on how to make me a cup of tea. Two sugars, 1 sugar, 2 tea bags, fill the kettle, bang, Bob's your uncle, cup, there you go, bang, bang. See, can you do it? And I'll give you a mark out of 10 for your cup of tea. She'll probably poison me. She'll probably poison me with rat poison. Right, so the only one I'm waiting on to get back to me, but I'll continue with the calls, is obviously Amy. Amy might have left, which doesn't matter. If Amy has left, I'll put her on top of tomorrow. Actually, I better write tomorrow's list down real quick now. So we got Amy, Daniel, Neil. Who else had I got that came on? Problem being, because they obviously, you know, if you're adding around, I just put the callers down that I had tonight on. Obviously, if those callers don't come on tomorrow night, obviously I will revise. Did he just rub? Right.
Amy's here.
Right. Ted just took the Doctor Who blanket off Cheryl and like just grabbed it and ran into the. You know what he's gonna do with that blanket now, don't you?
No.
Right. We get Bluebonnet Whovian on now.
Yeah, Amy's still ready.
And Amy is still coming on. So we've got everybody coming on. Right, grand. Right.
Hello, Noel.
How are you? How are you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Not too bad. I'm good. The wife is actually going to make me a cup of tea. Yay!
Oh, that's good.
Actually, she's not. She put the kettle on, but she's trying to make it out. She's only making it for herself. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want it in that cup. I want it in me muggy. I want it in me special cup that you bought me. Me special ego. No, I have it in me hand. I'm flashing at the camera for everybody to see. See, eco-friendly. Eco-friendly. See, I do my bit for the environment. Climate change me arse. Right. Right, let's get on with it. Bluebonnet, what would you like to talk about tonight? Well, oh no, what am I saying? Okay. You've heard what we've been talking about, so would you like to add anything, or have you got your own points you'd like to add?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I've noticed about season 11 is that does anyone really remember what the actual plots are of the shows other than just the political points that they make?
Actually, that's a good question.
All I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the stories really. Yeah, 2 tea bags of. Yeah, I don't remember the stories.
And my feeling on that is that this reads like a political manifesto.
Yeah.
If you except maybe the first and maybe the last episode, even the last episode has man-hating in it. So
yeah, virtual stadium.
It just seems that the BBC and they just wanted to promote this agenda, and they honestly just put the plot to the forefront. They put that in there to make it. I think it was Neil was talking about how they put sci-fi in there just so they can call it a sci-fi show, but it's basically just to promote their agenda.
Yeah.
And I just see that more and more with this season than I saw previously. I mean, they had some of it in there. I mean, you had that with the last season with Capaldi.
Yeah.
You had some of that. But it just seems like there was like at least 6 that I counted that had a lot of the hot topics as far as like the Saranga conundrum had the pregnant man, which is like gender neutral trans politics. Arachnids in the UK had, a Trump-like character that was hating on Yaz's mother because she was a different color. It's just over and over. I mean, Demons of the Punjab. I mean, White Man Bad. I mean, but honestly, I do not remember any of the plots of these stories.
That's interesting that you say that, because you're not the first person that I've heard say that. Because if you do strip away the politics, right? And I've said this as well on this channel. We've all actually said it. I think everybody in the chat now has said it at this stage. But if you actually take away the politics, right, what are you actually left with substance? And there's actually nothing there. What was the plots to all these stories? Like what was
and even the ones that didn't have as much politics, I mean, I can't really like even Resolution. I mean, how did that end? I mean, other than I don't even remember how the show ended, because it's basically just, it's nothing. It's a big nothing burger. And it just feels like, I don't know if he's like someone was saying in the chat, he's trying to destroy a show that he loved originally because of he hated the way that the 80s Doctor Who was, or and to be truthful, I think he really thinks he's doing a good thing by trying to change how people think.
Yeah.
By promoting this.
I do, yeah.
But
I agree.
they made a grave mistake when they did this, because as I think Moffat, there was an interview where he was saying that you don't want to assume that every Whovian, every Doctor Who fan is a leftist.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got that cup of tea off Cheryl, right? And she left the tea bags in that bleeding cup. I'm like,
okay, everyone in America, don't you leave the tea bag in the cup?
We do that here. Like if we make
the
bags in them. So
no,
that's
freaks.
The American thing.
My mammy knows how to make tea in America.
Did you just put the voice on in front of everybody? You just did that voice in front of everybody. Now made a fool of yourself.
She's the bestest. I love her very much.
I do have a second channel. It's called the Dr. Tardis Zone, and actually do subscribe to that channel, because after January, after the new year, what's happening is all the slideshow videos that I do with all the news articles will be going on that channel from now on, right? Then this channel will become primarily the Tardis Zone. This one will become primarily for live streams and interviews that I'll be doing with other YouTubers. And as I said, there's a couple of things in the pipeline with a couple of other YouTubers. We might be getting together to do it's kind of like what likes to see, the way you see Doomcock and Erotics get together on each other's channels and do shows on each other's channels. So someone came to me and asked me if I'd like to do it, and that's something that we're actually talking about as well. So all the live streams are going to be on this channel. All the slideshow videos are going to be on the other channel. And sorry about that.
It's okay.
Bluebonnet Whovian get cutting across you there.
Okay, it's okay. It's fine.
But go ahead anyway.
I really think he thinks he's doing a good thing, because if you ever see interviews with Chibnall, he's talking about how this needs to be said, whatever subject it would be, whether it be like feminism or whatever, but it's very preachy, and him being a fan, he should know that when you put politics in a show, you have to be very subtle. You can't be preachy with people, because it's going to turn people off.
Yeah.
And you have to have a plot. You have to have an interesting sci-fi plot. Genesis of the Daleks is a good example of using a political stance and making the story very interesting, and using history. And without saying, okay, yes, this is Hitler, or this is the Nazis.
I mean, there's ways to do it that's clever, and he just, I have my own opinions of, I think he has a lot of ghostwriters, but that's just my opinion. I think half the stuff that he claims is his, when, I think it was Neil, was it Neil? Who was the first? He was a guy that said that basically one of his friend's stories was stolen or something.
That was, oh, Jason, now you've put me on the spot. That was, oh, Jesus, why did I scribble his name out? Yeah, that was, who was it? Was it Neil? Yeah.
I keep saying.
No, no, hold on. That wasn't Neil. Yvette was the first caller. I think, it was Problem Bing. Right. It was Problem Bing, second caller.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have my own theories. I don't think he writes everything. I think he has a lot of ghost writers. And of course, we all know that he has writers. Moffat had to, fix some of his writing. We're all aware of that. So, but yeah, season 11 is just, to me, it's not even a series. It's not Doctor Who. This is just a political manifesto. This is just to appease the very, very small minority of people. But by doing that, they've completely, slapped all the people that actually give them money for their merchandise in the face in the process, which is obviously why they're, they weren't happy and they're trying to supposedly make changes. We'll see about that. But, but this is why people don't remember any of the plots, because there is none. It's all just to promote this agenda. And that's my opinion. I just feel
like here's the thing.
That was the only reason.
You want to get his writing cap on, because he'll actually have to do a bit of decent writing this time round, because he's not going to be able to get away with it for a second series.
Right. And yeah, or he'll have to have writers that actually write sci-fi, not political screenplays, because it seemed like all the writers, from what I was reading, all the writers they got except Pete, the one guy that wrote, was it Kablam? The only
Pete
one
Matei,
I understood that had a sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a sci-fi background, but the rest of them had written all political screenplays and drama.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's done the same thing again, though. I think he's done the same kind of thing again. I think he's brought in people that don't have much experience. Again, when I hear things like that, it seems to me he just hasn't learned his lesson, or he just refuses.
No. But at the same time, I can get mad at him, but I can get mad at the BBC, because it's like, why are you allowing that? But because the only thing I can think of is they agree with it. Because the article of the actor that you posted that said that they don't care, they truly do not care what we think.
Yeah.
Because if they cared what we thought, season 11, the whole casting, none of that would have gotten greenlighted. Because, and I'm not saying they do this because I don't know, but about 2 weeks before she was, the one that can't be named was announced, but the change was announced. People were talking, they didn't want this. It's not something they wanted. And then, so I would think that they kind of know where people stand on that issue.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Because why would he say, they knew this and they didn't care?
Mm. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I keep saying that. I just keep going back to how BBC thought that this guy, just like what Star Wars fans are feeling about what's his name, Ryan Johnson or Ryan Johnson, wherever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
How Disney Lucasfilms thought he was the right man to bring the Star Wars franchise forward, and you seen what happened there with The Last Jedi. It's the same with Doctor Who. Doctor Who fans are asking the same question. What the hell were you trying to do? No, do you know, I'd love to get him on this show to pick his brain, because I still don't know if there's actually anything in his brain worth picking, because his series is just absolutely diabolical. There's nothing great about it. I'm sorry, and people can criticize me, say I'm hating. I'm not hating. The show is diabolical. If that's your level, if you think that that's decent, right, and you think that's the level that Doctor Who should be at, well then, you know what? You're a sorry excuse as a fan, because that is just not good enough.
And I agree. Originally when he was announced, I wasn't against him being announced. Okay. The other part, I was definitely, because I had watched Broadchurch, and I thought, well, okay. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good hands. The first season of Broadchurch was excellent. He seems like a good showrunner. But then, the further it got into, as far as learning about the other things he had written, as far as realizing the Doctor Who episodes that he wrote, and just looking at that without politics in it, I didn't like any of them. Like, not one Chibnall Doctor Who based episode. They were all stupid. And in fact, I started watching Torchwood, and I was really excited. A friend of mine said, "Yeah, you should watch this. You love Doctor Who, watch it." And I got to the episode with the Cyber Woman, and I just quit. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah,
I didn't go beyond that. And then I found out later he wrote that episode.
Yeah, that Cyber Woman episode is an abomination, man. In Torchwood.
Right.
I mean, it didn't even make any bleeding sense, right? Even Yanto says, the conversion only happened halfway through. Yeah, but it makes no sense. They take your body parts away, they just use your brain. The rest of your body is basically thrown away. So how could you then have legs? Get away.
I didn't get past 5-6 minutes in it. I mean, I was just like, So I don't even really know. It probably, if I went and started it on Prime, it would probably start right back where I left it, because I haven't finished any of it. Which I know, if I could just skip that episode, I'd probably be fine and probably like the show, knowing what I know now. Oh, he wrote it. Okay, that makes sense. So, but I was one of those people like, okay, well, Broadchurch, first season, but then I started thinking about, I'm like, okay, how much sci-fi has this guy written? And then going back, I'm like, oh no, this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. This is going to be awful. And then I started really, really getting panicked, because if you have a bad character, a bad doctor, that's one thing. I'm not saying that, that we don't need a good doctor, but when you have a bad showrunner and someone that cannot write sci-fi, that's worse.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just replying back to someone that I actually totally forgot about that was supposed to be on the list.
Okay.
So I'm just telling them what time they'll be on at, if they're still up for coming on. Providing I just don't keep talking. Right, we got about 18 seconds to go. So
Okay.
what are you laughing for?
18 seconds.
Yeah, we got about 18 seconds, well, 8 now. I've wasted a whole 10 seconds.
Well, I'll just try to spit it all out in 18 seconds. No, but I pretty much, that's pretty much all my points. I mean, really, honestly, the whole point is that nobody, season 11, the only thing people remember, even if you've watched the whole season, is the political aspect of it. So that was really just my main point.
No, brilliant call as usual. I have you down for tomorrow. Obviously, if you can't come on tomorrow,
okay, I'll let you know.
Let me know. Also, just before you go, and I forgot to do it with Neil as well. Give your channel a shout out there, if you want to give your channel a YouTube channel.
It's called Bluebonnet, just Bluebonnet Whovian. Just look that up, and I basically now I'm starting to do like streaming reviews and TV show reviews, and I'm going to attempt to try to review Doctor Who season 12 if I can get through it.
If you do, I'll bring you on as a guest, and you can actually come on with me, because I'm going to be doing reviews as well. So maybe we can tie up and we can team up and do something.
Yeah, that sounds like an idea.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. Right. Let me know if you can come on tomorrow. Obviously, you will anyway. You always do. Everybody always does. So just let me know if you can. And great call. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Night.
And that was Bluebonnet Whovian. Don't forget to subscribe to Bluebonnet Whovian's channel. Also, Bad Wolf 66 has a channel. Also, Not My Doctor Who. Give those channels all a subscribe there. Now we'll get on my next caller. And we've got 3 more callers to go. So I'm going to try and get them out because obviously my last caller is going to be when the live stream is going to be over. So you have less of me tonight. So I'll probably be the most successful live stream because I haven't spoke that much. See, I can even slag myself. I don't care. What was that nickname, code name we come up with?
Not Neo.
Not Neo.
No, it's like this.
Oh, yeah. Right. Me next caller is coming on. Right. I have to get this real. We'll have to get him on real quick now. We'll have to get this call because I'm on a schedule now. So anyway, by the way, thank you all everybody that has hung on so far. If you haven't gave the stream a like so far, please do. I really appreciate if you do. Also, Not Neo is that YouTuber that we will not name. Yes, use your brain. Think about it, Neo. Think about it. Yeah, well done, Extra Spice, Mikey. See, you might be a Hammers fan, but you ain't stupid. And by the way, I will give my beautiful, sweet wife the actual credit for that. It was her idea. So, so I don't get into trouble, basically, because apparently my channel is going to be reported every time, which is actually stupid because YouTube actually have a policy now that they look into people that just report the channel because they don't like the content that they make, and they basically ignore it. So for all you people that are report me channel, you are basically wasting your time because there's no content on this now that breaks YouTube's rules. I've made sure. Right. Let's go. Let's get on our next guest.
No.
Hello, Gary. Welcome to the Real Whovian phone in. Nice to have you, my friend. How are you?
Thanks so much, buddy. I'm well. I got to be honest, Neil. And you know what? I want to tell all my fan base in the chat. There's going to be no jokes on this tonight because I got to tell you, you've had me on like an emotional and psychological roller coaster ever since the night of that Eddie stream. And you know it because you were in the chat, and I was the one who was getting so depressed.
I know.
You were like, hang on. You were like, hang on.
You get better.
I was just barely hanging on with my fingernails.
I know. And I remember then, I think it was later on in the chat, then you turned around and said, this might be one of the most depressing streams, but it's certainly your best one. I was like, okay.
That's true. It was a fantastic interview. It really was.
Thank you.
I wanted to punch the moon as I was listening to that. But yeah, don't worry, Paul, in the chat. There's going to be no jokes because I tell you, this topic today has triggered me about 10 different ways.
Right.
So, and I don't know if I got to. Okay, let me take a breath. I'm normally a very rational, reserved, nonviolent guy, and I'm not really sure. If I had the choice, who I'd want to punch more, the BBC for not doing their due diligence on Chibnall and being so starstruck by the ratings for the first season of Broadchurch that they didn't go to either Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat and say, how is this guy in a science fiction medium? Is he able to kind of do things by himself, or do you have to backstop him every step of the way because he's just not capable of performing in the same way with a science fiction show? So that's on the BBC. I'm doubly ticked for Chibs for not only tossing out the idea of, it shows how creatively bankrupt he was by tossing out the idea of a female doctor as a joke, as a bluff to the BBC. But I'll tell you right now, There's three things that really tick me off about all this. The first is about Series 11 and the politics. The first is that all the person who shan't be named bots who are out there, they go on and on about the ratings being on a high, no matter the fact that counts a never to be repeated first episode that was driven mostly by curiosity, but they act like, oh, that's just the norm. That was a one-time phenomenon for that one episode that's never going to be repeated, and yet they act like that's the norm. The second thing, and that we'll talk more about, is that Doctor Who has always been about, quote unquote, politics, which is wrong in about like 10 different ways. And the third thing, on a personal note, is I'm just so ticked off, both BBC and Chibs, that all of this has like made me feel so detached from a show that I've loved my entire life, that a large part of me right now doesn't even really care if it ever comes back. So that's the third thing that really ticks me off. Notice I said a part, not all. So of course I still, as you, love the show and doesn't want to see it die, but still, that's kind of how I'm feeling. So anyway, so here's the thing, and you mentioned before that this is true of Star Wars and Star Trek with Discovery and Doctor Who, about the same phenomenon happening with everything. And I think the one commonality that all has, I think it was said best, not best, and most succinctly in that quote from Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi movie, where he says, "Let the past die, kill it if you have to." That right there is the true philosophy of everybody who's, creative, who's the creative force between Star Wars now and Trek and Doctor Who. And they're arrogant enough to think that what they're doing can wipe away all of the legacy and everything that everybody's loved, because they either are more in touch with what makes good entertainment now, or they're more in touch with the public. And so they have no problem with presenting that and flying that like a flag. And it's only when people don't buy into it, and when their profitability starts becoming an issue, like box office starts falling, or the ratings start plummeting, or there's fan backlash or whatever, when it starts hitting them in their pocketbook, then once that becomes an issue, then they start doing all their hypocritical pandering backpedaling and tossing things in now like, oh, all the old villains are coming back in series 12, or we're gonna bring back everything fans loved in Star Wars or whatever. But they put out what they really think right away, and it's only when that doesn't work that they start changing things back around. And I tell you that the big problem I have, and basically here's the thing, Noel, and you can tell me if you agree with this. I don't want to monopolize everything. I don't want to give you not a chance to chime in. But this is what happens. This is what happens every single time, not just about Doctor Who, about anything. This is what happens every single time you make a TV show into a cause. Not just being entertainment first. Once you try to transform a TV show into a cause, what we're going through here is the inevitable result. And the big problem, everybody says, the thing that pisses me off the most about, because I'm so protective of classic Who, everybody tosses out this thing about, oh, Doctor Who has always been about politics. And I found an article today, which I guess was right after, last Christmas, Jodie Whittaker, I'm sorry, I said her name. Don't cut me off for saying
No, you're all right. Go on.
Anyway, she says she was turning on, I guess one of the things she was quoted as when she was turning on, according to this article, where she was turning on the Christmas lights, it says at London's Regent Street, she said, and I quote, and this says it all, "What's the point of making a show if it doesn't reflect society today?" Well, Jodie, how about basic entertainment? and being true to the 50-year legacy of the show that you're stepping into. How about that for a damn point? You know, you don't need to be making a statement in every minute of every episode you're doing. And the big problem is the difference with the classic series, and I'll be glad to give you some examples because you said before you wanted some examples.
Yeah.
The big problem is that before, in the classic series, and I would say even up to a good part of Moffat's era, the message or whatever it was, the political overtones or allegory, that was always in service to the story. The story came first. Now the story, however shoddily constructed it is by Chibnall and his writers crew, the story is now in service to the message. That is a 180-degree flip. So anybody who says, oh, it's always been about that is a bunch of BS. It's been the total opposite up until this point. I'll throw out some examples from the classic series. You have The Sunmakers, which is a story by the fantastic Robert Holmes, one of the best writers in classic Who, which was basically all about a comment on the taxation and the privatization back then under Thatcher, but it was still in the guise of an entertaining story. It didn't bludgeon it to death. Green Death, of course, is one of the classic examples, more about, you know, the pollution and all of that. But the thing about it is that those stories gave the audience, not only did it not sledgehammer the message, but it gave the story like 6 episodes to invest the audience in the conflict and the supporting characters for that story and their struggles, to where it gave the audience space to become invested in the story. So when you got the message, it didn't sledgehammer it in, and you cared more about the message, and you were invested more at the end in the point of the story because you cared more about the characters you were watching while they were making that point. The Curse of Peladon was all about in the early 70s Britain joining the European Economic Community. But that was clearly an undertone of that story, but it was not, oh, here's why it's good or here's why it's bad. That was just the undertone of the story. Genesis of the Daleks, as Bluebonnet was just talking about. It wasn't only about the Nazism parallel, which was there basically since the first Dalek story in 1963. But what is the key scene in that story that is still seared in all of our collective memory today? And that is the "Do I have the right?" scene. A lot of us can probably recite that verbatim, and that's totally seared into our heads. But that really wasn't about Nazism versus is good or bad. It was talking about genocide being inherently wrong. And is what you believe to be a greater good or a right, does that justify it?
Exactly.
So, but that it wasn't made blatant. It was made through a dramatic peak in a story that 40 years later is still seared as one of the best scenes in Doctor Who history. The Case of Androzani, which is in many ways about the pointlessness of war. There's all these factions that the Doctor and Perry just innocently get caught up in. And the Doctor has that great quote, "I was just passing through. I just happened to get caught up in your pathetic little local war." To where the Doctor knows this ultimately isn't worth anything in the grand scheme of things. And yet it ends up costing his life. Then the best example is in the new series, I think, obviously, is the Zygon invasion inversion, where we see the height of the Doctor's passion, where he's arguing against war and conflict from a philosophical point of view, not because against the nature of it, not because he's siding with one political side or the other. And what Chibnall can do is, the thing I think you have to ask about Chibnall's thing is he following the history of injecting some kind of political flavoring into the show? Sure. But I think the one question you have to ask is he actually adding anything to the conversation through the way in which he's doing it. He's not adding anything because, as other callers have said today, there's no depth or subtlety to it. I think the way he writes, to me, has all the depth of a public service announcement. And one thing I think that Cheryl will appreciate, I actually think, going back to the 70s, Schoolhouse Rock did a better job at injecting political messages in an entertaining way than anything Chips is capable of doing. And so it's not so much the fact that we don't like the fact that he's injecting political messages. It's the fact that the way he's doing it is so insultingly condescending that that it becomes, as Bluebonnet said, nothing but election.
Yeah, I'm missing it here in the comment because I have to. It's so funny. Everything that you've just said to me, right? Paul was going to come on and say the same thing. He's in the chat. He's in the chat there. I hate you, Gary.
I'm not even telling. Paul can't hate me because I'm not telling any jokes. I'm telling jokes when he hates me when I'm not telling jokes. I can't win with Paul. I love him, but I can't win with him.
Do you know what? I'm going to bring you, you know the way I do interviews, if who he is actually interested, I'll ask him when I bring him on that he's on after you. I think that's why he's going mad. But here, if the two of you, if we can get organised a time, I'd like to bring you two guys on at the same time and do an interview with the two of you because I think that would be a great.
You mean kind of like a cage death match or something?
That's it.
East Coast, West Coast rivalry.
Oh, there you go. Sharon's getting all animated over there.
Cheryl, Paul's not my rival. He's a great guy. Cheryl's trying to gin up some fake conflict here.
I am.
That's it. To boost the chance.
Tonight on a very special episode of the Tardis Zone Live.
That's it. We'll get you in the boxing ring.
Because I mean, even just a quick scan through all the, and people have already made comments. Even if you go one by one through, all the episodes of last season, and I'm like everybody else. I haven't watched them more than once. I don't have the stomach to go back and watch them again. But you have the Punjab, which is basically prejudice and racism bad. You have the Iraqness in the UK, which is I can't figure it out. It was either Trump bad, it was pro-gun control, or basically just political ambition in general is bad. I'm not really sure what his message was because there were so many of them. You have the Ghost Monument, which is all about greed is bad. You have the Witchfinders, which is basically sexism is bad. You have the frog. I can't say it takes you. Whatever there was, the frog one.
It takes you away.
Which was basically. I don't know if that was about a commentary on either toxic masculinity or weak masculinity or just masculinity bad or whatever it was on that. And then you have, as Bluebonnet said in her call, you have the Saranga conundrum, which is basically blurring. It wasn't the point of the episode, but clearly it was the main secondary thread, blurring the line between masculinity and femininity with the whole pregnant male. As a nod to basically like transgenderism. And the thing about it is that's all Chibnall can do. All he can do is bring it up. He has nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have, as you talked about, the comment about the plot points not being wrapped up. He doesn't have any interest in wrapping up the plot.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is come in front of the TV, wag his fingers at us, and go, okay, you kids, you've got to do better.
Yeah.
And go off. And that's the only thing he wants to do. And I got to say, just like Yvette, the thing about Resolution, which was my most hated episode, I think, in the entire history of Doctor Who, even though I don't consider anything in series 11, true Doctor Who, it was because it was the quintessential series 11 episode, which was the Doctor being completely powerless. In every episode, she either avoided solving the problem, wasn't powerful enough to solve the problem, wasn't smart enough to solve the problem, or was just impotent enough to solve the problem. When she gets up there and she tells the Dalek She goes, now this is the final warning because I'm nice. Get off this planet. And then she tells her companion or friend, I'm sorry, fam. She tells her fam later, you know, you heard me right. I gave him a chance. And I'm sitting there going, a face palm going, you know, would someone please, I said, this is a Dalek. Would someone please tell me what effing show I'm watching?
Yeah.
Because it sure ain't Doctor Who when you have the Doctor doing something like that.
Exactly. And on that point, unfortunately, Gary, we've ran out of actual time because we've had so many callers. It's grand. We've had so many callers. Everybody normally gets 20 minutes to rant away, but because I have so many callers, it's down to 15 minutes tonight. But
okay,
listen,
thanks for letting
great
me
points. Paul hates you right now, just to let you know. So maybe he used to. I'm going to bring him on. I don't know what he's going to talk about now.
All right. Thanks so much.
No problem. And I have you down for tomorrow anyway, just in case if you can come on, just let me know if you can.
Okay, yeah, it'll be later on in the show. If
I know that, yeah.
Sure. That's fine. I'm totally exhausted now, so if I get my strength back by tomorrow, I'll definitely come on.
No problem. Right, go on. You enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night. God bless.
All right. Thanks. God bless you. Talk to you later.
See you soon. Bye-bye. And that was Gary, everybody. Right, do you know what? I'm not even going to do any talking, but great comments there. Great points made. And now it's time for Paul, who's basically just going to repeat everything that Gary said. So let's bring him on. Right, he's probably going to be crying into his cornflakes, but, you know, what can we do? I'm sorry, that's just the way it goes. Oh, buddy, why did you? This is so funny, this is. Because every time Gary was mentioned, so I could just see in the live chat, but I was going to say that. I was like, right, this is going to be great, though. Right, but come here, believe it or not, and the stream is going to go over its usual time, but just because I have Paul, then I have Amy, and then I have Peter. I was supposed to put Peter. Amy, I don't know if you mind. Just let me know if I can swap you around with Peter and bring Peter on at 12:45 because Peter thought was supposed to come on earlier and I totally actually forgot all about him. If you don't mind, then that means you'd be last call of the night, which is like a privilege on this channel. I'm only messing. It's not really, but like, let's pretend it is.
Wow.
Let's pretend. No, it is. It is. By the way, 35 likes on this video with 32 of you watching. Obviously, people have left better probably YouTubers to watch, which is great. I do that myself. But if you like what's being said here by everybody tonight, including their friend Paul, who's about to come on, then please give the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. And folks, if you're still subscribed to me, make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube apparently is doing all that rubbish, you know. And here's Paul now. Paul's not going to be very happy. Oh, he's so not happy that his phone won't ring. What, baby? No, I didn't say anything. No, not yet. Hello, Paul. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine, no.
Oh, you even sound sad. Would you like me to sing you a song? I'm only messing. I know you've had a bit of a injury. I hope you're all right, man. So you must be on painkillers, eh?
No. It actually wasn't that bad. So I went to the hospital. The doctor said, listen, you don't need stitches. He said, so he gave me these things called Steri-strips to hold the wound closed because it was a really nasty gash. You know,
yeah.
I was more embarrassed how the hell I even got it, but I'm good. I'm fine. No painkillers. You know what? Listen, over on these parts, we will die like real men.
That's it.
Screaming in pain and pour a bottle of whiskey on it. All right, so I'm just gonna jump right.
Go ahead. You know, go ahead. You could just carry on from your good friend there, Gary. I'm sorry, but it's just so funny. You know me. You know me.
It was awesome. No, it's great.
Go on anyway. Go on.
All right, so Chris Trimbles is a hack, and he is a stealer. Now, problem being, had a great point how he had a friend of a friend who said that he sent in a story to the BBC about dinosaurs on a ship, nothing to do with Doctor Who. Next thing you know, boom, his show is on the air. Now, funny enough, that tied into something that I was gonna speak about. So if we look at Series 11, all right, the first episode we had the Tooth Fairy monster. Look what that show was about. Some alien comes to Earth with some crazy agenda wanting to kill people. Doesn't that remind you of Spearhead from Space, the Auton invasion? Every Dalek story set on Earth.
Yeah.
The Time Warrior and the Santaran experiment. Then we have the Ghost Monument. We have the smoke monsters. We have Attack of the Scary Talking Towels. You know what? Very reminiscent of Silver Nemesis and Image of the Fendal.
Yeah.
Takes us to Arachnids of the UK. Planet of Spiders, the Green Death, with a little bit of Inferno thrown in as well. So my point here is all Chimballs did was to take classic stories, redress them and bring them back out. The man is an absolute hack. Kerblam is just like a story that my good friend Gary talked about, the Sunmakers. There's a lot of the same elements. Demons of the Punjab has elements of the greatest show in the galaxy from the McCoy era, going back to the Tom Baker area. Demons of the Punjab also has a bit of elements of the Keeper of Trocket, as well as that story with the Witchfinders has elements of the Keeper of Trocket. So how many possible stories do you have to go through to see that all Chimballs did was steal stories, redress them, and call them Series 11? Now, the writers that he had, okay, whether it was Rosa Parks or telling us how Graham initially was wrong for his treatment towards Ryan, Jodie, the mean ladies dressing down and browbeating of Ryan's biological father, beating down the king or the person who Alan Covey played in The Witchfinder. The point that I'm trying to get here is these writers were all about political agenda. Two of them came from the stage. They had never ever worked on television before. I don't know how it works over on your side of the pond, which is not my side of the pond since I'm in Germany myself. In America, if you're coming from the stage to television, you have to prove yourself on the stage first. And you have to write a story that gets picked up. Then you're invited back as a guest writer. And maybe at some point you become a staff writer. That didn't happen with two of the four staff writers. The other two staff writers, one worked on another show, and the other one was a guest writer on another show. They were both dramas, or one was a romance or a comedy. So nothing to do with sci-fi, and they were pushing agenda. And I totally hated it. I absolutely hated it. So when you look at Chimballs, all right, when we look at the agenda that he pushed, and it was all about him pushing agenda and pushing his narrative. As mad as I am at the BBC because they allowed this clown to push his agenda. I don't know what crack that guy was smoking. I don't know what heroin the guy was shooting up in his veins, but to sit there and allow this farce, this absolute travesty to go forward, it was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. So now, when these people who support the mean lady and support all the BS that she has said and all the narrative and the agenda garbage that Chimballs has pushed, how I dismiss and I refute everything that they say out of hand. all right, because they have proven that they are not about inclusion. They are not about all the fans. They are about one thing and one thing only, pushing their agenda, all right? So to answer your question, you did not ask me, you asked someone earlier. Why are these people now trying to defend the filth that they produced?
Yeah.
Because from day one, they were only about their agenda, no. They were only about trying to push their views and to basically get people to come around to their way of thinking.
Yeah.
Right. So now what they did not count on was that people just said, no, we just don't want it. It's bullshit, and we're gonna call it bullshit and call you out on your bullshit.
Sorry, I just thought I got a friend request off the real Peter Davison, and then I find out it's not. It's a Jody bot. Okay. See, they're trying to trick me even by, pretending to love other doctors. They think I don't see through their rubbish. You really need to you need another plan. It's not working, guys. I told you already, I don't care. You are giving me more material for me videos, so
No, listen, bro. Ignore the Muppets. Now, Gary already completely stole my thunder, so all I will do, I'll just add on. I'll add on to what Gary said, which was literally what I was going to say. Politics has been a part of Doctor Who from season 1.
Yeah, I agree.
If you look at the keys to Marinus, if you look at the Daleks, if you look at the Chase, if you look at the meddling monk and the celestial toy maker journey into the unknown, the Daleks master plan, story after story after story, politics. However, those writers were brilliant, and they weaved the politics into the story. They told it through allegory. Okay, so at no time did you ever see the Daleks as being Nazi Germany. At no time did you ever see that. At no time did you ever see the celestial toy maker or the meddling monk being Julius Caesar or General Chiang Kai-shek or General Mao Zedong. The point is, you did not see it. You did not instantly relate it to politics that but the themes and the ideas were there because the stories were told through allegory and intricately and expertly woven into the stories. Okay, Chimballs has not done that. He has become absolutely preachy. And listen, people don't like being preached to. All right. Yeah. If I browbeat you, you're not going to like it. Exactly. Now, I can do it in a very intelligent manner where you may not even realize it, okay, because I have the ability to tell you to go fuck yourself. You can go fuck your hand, but you won't even realize that I'm doing so because I'm not using profanity and I'm not doing it blatantly. The problem is, Chimballs isn't even smart enough. He doesn't even have the intelligence to do so. He is preachy and he is heavy-handed with it. Again, I'm just going to stop there because I'm only going to repeat everything that Gary said. But listen, Gary, brilliant job because you know what? I was going to say exactly the same thing. So brilliant job. But
well, you know what they say, don't you? Great minds think alike.
Absolutely. So again, that's why I'm saying absolutely brilliant job because I was literally going to say the same exact things. And it's funny he brought up the Sunmakers because I said the Sunmakers is a very underrated story. And there was another story that I was going to mention, since I was hoping Gary wasn't because he's very sharp. He's very sharp. Enlightenment from the Peter Davison era. Okay, that can be seen as communism versus the West. Okay, so again, politics woven through the story, told through allegory, and Chimballs doesn't do that. So when people say, well, politics has always been a part of Doctor Who, yes and no. The issue here is Doctor Who is never about pushing an agenda, never about pushing a narrative, and it was never preachy, ever. No actor who played a Doctor ever browbeat you or, as Gary said, wagged his finger at you. Or when they did, They did it in such a way. It was brilliant. The way that Tom Baker would browbeat Davros, the way that Peter Davison, to his credit, browbeat Davros, as did McCoy. Okay, and the way that Colin Baker browbeat the Inquisitor and the Time Lords who sat in judgment at him during the trial of a Time Lord.
Here's a question, and a question for all you in the live chat as well. I'd like to hear some of our answers on this. With all the stuff that you've just talked about now, do you think that Chris Chibnall is actually capable of actually writing an episode that has political undertones, let's say, instead of doing it the way, as you said yourself, he can only do it directly because he doesn't know how to do it subtly? Is it because he doesn't know how to do it subtly, or is he just choosing to do it directly because he wants to get that message across, and no matter what, he's going to make sure that that message gets across?
No, and no, you actually answered your own question in your extended. You answered your own question with your extended explanation of your question. He lacks the ability to do it subtly because as a writer, remember, human nature reflects itself in every aspect of human endeavor.
Everybody's on fire.
So as a writer, he has consistently shown he lacks the ability to exhibit subtlety. He doesn't have the ability to tackle things and explain them through allegory and intricately and delicately weave them into a story. He lacks that ability. And if you look at Broadchurch, he clearly lacked the ability. His limited work on Torchwood, he clearly lacked the ability. Everything is in your face, in your face, in your face, blatant, up front. That's who he is. That's the writer who he is. And it is reflective over the totality of his body of work.
So
that was a long, detailed answer. No, he can't do it.
I just seen a comment there by BadWolf66. I'm bringing him on actually next. But he makes a point. He says maybe perhaps the BBC have been influencing. Well, again, if you watch the interview, and I keep going back to this interview, again, this is another thing that we actually talk about. And it turns out that this is not BBC's doing at all. This is all Chibnall. This was Chibnall's creation. Nobody influenced them into putting politics into the show. This is all him. This is all down to him.
It's all him. It's all him. And the thing is this: we were all of us, myself included, we were absolutely under the impression it was the BBC. It was the BBC. It was the BBC. It wasn't. It was Chibnall's. What they are guilty of, they're guilty of hiring him. However, as further proof, and as has been and is being confirmed by multiple sources, they course corrected early.
Yeah.
Because they were already gone by early 2019.
Yeah.
February or January, they were already gone. Okay. So because they had to course correct so quickly, they had to bring them back. They had to film Series 12, but her regeneration scene was already filmed months ago because they course corrected early. They were fired early because they were not on board with the bullshit that Chibnall did. They were sold a bill of goods. So the one thing that we can say on them, the person who made the choice to hire him, that was a bad on him. However, they course corrected early on. So all they're doing right now, realistically, is they're playing as much damage control as they can without giving us details into what Series 12 will be, while keeping as much a lid on the information as possible that they course corrected early.
I was just I mean, the thing about it is that, okay, he's gone, she's gone. The problem that we're going to have now is whoever takes over is going to have to clean up this big mess. I mean, are they going to just like get rid of Chibnall and Whittaker, or are they going to actually clear the whole place out? Because for me personally, for this to, you need to shake off this whole era completely. So that means get rid of everybody, including the guy that's involved in the soundtrack. He needs to go. I bring back Murray Gold. I would. I'd definitely bring back Murray Call. Actually, I will do a video actually, and I might bring you on, Paul, for that, and Gary, actually, both of you on for that. And we'll actually talk about what we'd like to see for Series 12.
Right.
Obviously, and then talk about what we would find acceptable for Series 12, because some people do actually do that, and it'll be interesting to hear different points of views. So we'll arrange that for during the week anyway. We've actually run out of time here tonight, but if you want to come on again tomorrow night, Paul, I'll put you down on the list, and then obviously if you can't come on, you just let me know. But listen, thanks for coming on, and even though Gary stole all your ideas,
oh no, one last thing. I'm off. I'm going to one last thing.
Right, come on.
The Warriors Gate addressed slavery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allegory, but it was told in pure allegory. It addressed slavery and human trafficking, which is basically slavery. Okay, told through allegory. On that note, thank you. I'm off. Gary again, brilliant. Thank you, Cheryl. Good night. Take care.
Good night. Nice having you on.
And this time I'll let you hang up.
Hold on. If I can actually find that blade. Hold on. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye. And that was Paul, everybody. So 2 more callers to go. We're just going to get straight to it. So the next caller hasn't been on for a while, actually. I think Bad Wolf 66 was on probably one of my very first calls when I first started doing this. So it's nice to actually get him back on to have a chat. But I mean, yeah, that YouTubers do videos on what would they'd like to see in series, different series of the shows that they watch. Do me a favor, Bad Wolf 66. I've sent you a message on Messenger. Please give it a look there so we can get this show on the road. I'm on a tight schedule now. I have to I'm supposed to keep this stream under 3 hours because it does something with the algorithm, but I'm already going to be going over that. So I've sent you a message there. If you could send me a reply back, I'd really appreciate it. If you're gone, I'll just have to move on to Amy because I just have to keep it going. Let me see. I always am fair. I will wait a couple of seconds. But listen, great call by Paul. Great call by everybody tonight so far. There hasn't been one bad call. What? Yeah, I know, which is amazing. 30 people still hanging on right till the end. I really appreciate it. Listen, here we go. We might get lucky now. Okay, here we go. Hello, Peter. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. All well and good. How are you?
I'm feeling better than I was a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's good to hear, mate. You keep that chin up. Yeah. Don't you worry. So, what would you like to discuss tonight, man?
Well, let's see. There probably is a bright future for Doctor Who, but we don't know when it will be, or if it will happen or not. I mean, as they say, light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the more we analyze, see, this is what will happen, right? Even after she's gone, her era will be analyzed. It will be analyzed. Chris Chibnall's era will be analyzed again. And then you will get and I guarantee you all those YouTubers that are defending this era right now, when they actually go back and look at what was produced, they will change their tune. I really, truly believe that. I just think all this, they just wanted the female doctor so much that no matter how bad it is, they're just going to defend it and they're just going to, I mean, can I ask you, obviously we spoke about the articles earlier. I mean, what do you think of the fact that this production team doesn't care what they produce and they don't care if fans like it or not? It's because they want to get that out there no matter what. How do you feel about that as a fan of a TV show, that you know that the people that are supposed to care about you don't actually care?
It's an insult, isn't it? It's like a spit in the face. Like, this is what we think, but we don't care what you think. We know better than you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. If they
it's a bit like snobbery in a way.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like, even it sounds like, you know, they seem to be, they're beyond criticism, that if you criticize that and they're doing, it's like, well, how dare you criticize what we're doing? We've done this absolutely perfect. It's actually you that has the problem if you don't like it, which is the wrong attitude to have. Obviously, there's things flawed with this era because so many people wouldn't have turned off their TVs, and I think people really need to open their eyes about that. I mean, if you lose your audience like we have, and we've seen it on Twitter, Peter, you've been on Twitter, you see it every day. We've seen all these different graphs go up, different, you know, stuff go up, and it proves it. Ratings, it's dropped. I mean, like, how can you say that a show that's lost 50% of its audience is a success? I really don't get it. Can I ask you individually, have you watched Series 11?
I watched it all.
Right. Tell me what episode that kind of did your head in the most. Which episode thought, right, that's it, I've had enough?
Well, Demons of the Punjab was boring as hell. I couldn't wait for it to end.
Yeah.
And it was like they were supporting the Pakistani terrorists. It's like, oh, the British are bad, but we support these terrorists.
Yeah, I know. It's one extreme to the next, isn't it? So you didn't like that episode. Is there any other, I mean, the type of politics that he decided to roll with in the show? Okay, just try kind of let me know why you don't like these type of politics, or you don't like the way he's going about it. What is it that you don't like about Chris Chibb and all that? Said, no, he's not the right man.
Well, he seems to be not very creative, and he's probably being pushed by the BBC. So, yeah, there's that. He's more of a drama writer, apparently.
Yeah.
Broadchurch.
Yeah.
Which I've never watched.
Right, I have.
But I know David Tennant's in it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have. The 4 series is okay. It's good. Yeah. It is. It's riveting. I have to say, it's 3 episodes. Isn't it 3 episodes a series or something? An hour and a half each episode. It is. The 4 series is great. Yeah, series 2 and 3, there was no need for it. It was a waste of time. But yeah, he's not great writer. But I mean, what is there any episode in series 11 that you could even see working with a different doctor? There's one that I never actually asked. And that's for everybody in the live comments as well. Is there an episode in series 11 that you could see another doctor doing? With the politics and all in it, nothing changed. Nothing changed. Everything exactly the same way. Do you think there would have been another one of the previous doctors that would have made the episode better? Or do you think it's just the writing and it's not really, it doesn't matter whether we had a great actor or actress in the role, it still wouldn't work? Or is Jodie some of the blame as well, because her acting is obviously atrocious in my opinion?
Well, Kablam felt like the closest to, I don't know, series 4, series 5. It could have been a Matt Smith episode if it was rewritten to be like Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat style.
Yeah, yeah, Kablam would work as a Matt Smith. I agree with that one actually, because yeah, Matt Smith I think would have done well in that episode. Kablam. That is my favourite out of series 11. If I'm honest, it's the one that I would give another go. But that's just for the simple fact is that it's the closest thing, as you said, that we got to an actual Doctor Who episode.
It just needs a good rewrite and a decent villain. I mean, that kid, she just blew him up, like, and then the corporation just gets away with it.
I remember she also murdered a spider as well, didn't she? In the Arachnids episode. Yeah.
She's a stone cold killer.
Yeah. Well, she takes. Yeah. There you go. She takes no prisoners. That Jodie Whittaker. All the rest of them didn't believe in genocide, but that Jodie Whittaker's doctor doesn't give a crap about that. No, she'll genocide anything she wants because, oh, look at me, I'm all powerful. I'm a woman now. Yeah. How will you remember Jodie Whittaker anyway?
What'd you say, sorry?
I said, how will you remember Jodie Whittaker's doctor?
That Doctor Who just came and went. That's it, really. Nothing memorable about
it's not, actually, I agree. It's not even memorable. Are you even excited? And I forgot that again. I'll ask people in the live chat. Is there anybody even excited for Series 12? Because for me personally, I get more excited looking at a fly flying around me light bulb being distracted. Is anybody excited for Series? I mean, we were waiting on that so-called announcement that never happened. And I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen, but like the fact that was still something to kind of get excited about. Is anybody even actually excited about Series 12? Because I know right now at this moment in time, I'm not. I'm just more excited about if that comes out about it that we already know because I know it's, you know what I mean? The BBC are ticked a month behind me.
Yeah.
Even the own organisation that's making the shows behind me when it comes to the news. It's fucking funny. It's funny. What's this? I'm excited for Series 12 to end and get on with the next season, which I hope doesn't have a 2-year break. Yeah. I mean, again, we just have to wait and see. I mean, but Peter, I mean, getting back to this era. Where do you think? Or when do you think it all went wrong for this era? For me, it was. I actually think for me, the mistake was made when he hired Jodie Whittaker, but that's just personally me because I didn't think she was the caliber of actress that you need. But where do you think it went wrong? Because that's where I think it went wrong. But you obviously will think.
Well, the writing is one of them, and the virtue signaling doesn't help. And the lack of sci-fi elements within the series, it just felt like drama, but with a little bit of robot or giant spider wherever they could put it. It's like a Christmas tree, but cheap. Oh yeah, and no Christmas special. What the hell?
Yeah, well, you might get lucky this year. Again, I'm not saying there is a Christmas special this year because we don't know if it's going to be shown Christmas Day. But we do know that there is a special to come before the series starts. So whether it's Christmas special or not, we do not know. Because obviously with the filming business and all this Cardiff business, which is actually interesting now that Chibnall is kind of floating about a bit now, getting ready to promote this last series. I mean, here's another telling thing, Peter. Last year, they were promoting the hell out of Doctor Who. You look at what's happened this year. What promotion has there actually been for the new series of Doctor Who? Absolutely zero. Why? You know, that'd be the question if I was a fan.
There's no series this year, so that's one of the reasons. I mean, I know there's a new Funko Pop coming out where it's that Dalek from Resolution.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would sell well.
Well, apparently the merchandise is not selling very well. Series 11 merchandise has really bottomed out. Apparently, if they put Jodie Whittaker on the cover of something, it loses how many did they say? What 4,000 copies or 2,000 copies when they put Jodie Whittaker's face on that? And so when Jodie Whittaker's doctor features on that, and it kind of flops. That's why, and Cheryl actually made a very interesting point. It was the David Tennant crossover comic, and she actually said, "Well, you know why they put David Tennant in? It's so obvious. David Tennant still has his fanboys and girls. Like he wins every New Who poll. So that's the reason why they've teamed her up with David Tennant. They teamed her up with the most popular doctor to New Who fans anyway." And that's why, they'll sell, because David Tennant is in it, not because Jodie Whittaker's in it, but of course they'll spin that. Like they always do, Peter, isn't that right? They spin everything.
Yep, they make everything hysterical.
Yeah. I mean, I was even saying
it's basically fan service, putting her with David Tennant.
Yeah.
Because she's not popular.
Yeah, put her with the most popular doctor and then it'll sell,
Well, in theory.
Yeah, we still don't know. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't buy anything from this era. Anyway.
Same.
So, like, I'm not...
It's mostly girly orientated.
Yeah, it is. I find that. And I'm a man in my 40s, where's the merchandise for me? Anyway, even if there was merchandise for Series 11, I hardly want the talking fucking frog. I don't want the space racist. I don't want the tooth monster. Tim Shaw, the tooth outlaw. Ha ha. You know what I mean? I don't want the pregnant red-headed ginger bloke. I don't want the Beting because it looks absolutely like, as I said, an adipose on crack. Seriously, I mean, he dumbed down the. Do you know what?
It's a big mess.
I just feel sorry for this generation. They're being fed TV that is just absolutely has no substance in it anymore. There's nothing. Yeah. A TV, right? Remember, TV back in the day used to entertain, right? Used to frighten the crap out of you, right? It also used to educate, believe it or not, right? You look at shows now, and there's a few exceptions, right? Like The Expanse and all people talk about. The Orville's another one that I like. That's actually all right. But what's happened is the rest of it has been dumbed down because this generation, unfortunately, as I said, because they're the smartphone generation, they're all a bunch of stupid planks, right? And they're being educated by a bunch of stupid planks that have this ideology. And we've seen a few of them go around, especially a few that have actually ended up on the UN recently and given out to all the adults as if we're kids and as if we don't know what we're doing, and basically giving us a lecture about how we should, tidy up the world and how climate change is this most important. About a load of hysterics super gluing themselves to the ground and all. You need to cop onto yourself and look at what's going on in the world. It's all hysteria. It's all this, and it dumbed down politics. Dumbed down politics in TV shows, dumbing down your shows for your kids, dumbing down school. Everybody has to win a medal because nobody can be losers anymore, because you can't have that mentality anymore, because everybody has to be fucking told that they're great. Well, that's not the reality. And I've talked over you, Peter. I'm sorry. So I'll give you an extra 2 minutes and then I'm going to bring Amy on for the last few minutes. But just to finish up, what are your hopes for Series 12? We'll just finish with that real quick. What are your hopes for Series 12? Are you excited for it? Do you think it'll be an improvement on Series 11? Or do you think, like me, it's going to be the same old, but they're going to rope in all the villains and they're just going to make a hames of it? Or what do you think differently?
Well, I'm hoping for a decent story arc with decent storytelling, something which grips the audience, and puts out little mysteries here and there. So like Series 1 to 4 story arc. Intelligent dialogue, intelligent villains, an intelligent doctor.
Yeah, we need an intelligent doctor, right.
Proper sci-fi writers, but we don't know we don't know if there are going to be any this series. Yeah, I mean, we don't know really. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Do me a favor, just give your channels a shout out there before I let you go, because I know you have a couple of YouTube channels. If you want to give them a shout out there and let people know how to subscribe to you, and then I'll obviously put it in the live chat there as well, Peter. So go ahead, give your channels a shout out.
Okay, my animation channel is Bad Wolf 66. And my gaming channel is Bad Wolf Gamer.
Great. And you're also on Twitter as well. Do you want to give them your Twitter handle?
Okay, I see. Well, it's at Bad Wolf 66, but it's all in capitals. The A is a 4 and the O is a 0.
Yeah. Look, you as well find him. If you come onto my Twitter account, you can write something on one of my yokes and you will find them. But I'll tell you what to do. Write it in the live chat there anyway. Right, Peter?
Yeah, I've done it.
Right. Listen, mate, you listen. You have enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thanks for coming on. And as I said, like, keep that chin up, mate, and you'll be fine. Right?
Thanks, no.
No, not a bother, mate.
See you next time.
What?
See you next time.
No problem, mate. I'm on tomorrow night, so if you want me to put you down, I'll put you down for tomorrow. If you can come on, you can come on. If you can't, you just let me know and I'll take you after this. So I'll have you down for tomorrow. You just let me know tomorrow if you can come on, yeah?
Okay, sounds good.
No problem. Right, go on. I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you soon. You, as I said, enjoy the rest of your night and yeah. See you later, pal.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Bad Wolf 66. So we've got one more caller, and I'm just going to get straight into it because, you know, this has been a marathon one tonight, I have to say. And again, for all you Jody bots out there that don't understand why fans have a problem with this era of Doctor Who, I hope some of these phone calls and you listening to some of the guests have actually made you understand a little why fans don't like this era. If you still don't understand, there's nothing we could do for you. To be quite honest with you, it's like talking to that. And I hope it's not. You know, I'd like to think that maybe someone out there that watches Series 11 is actually intelligent. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems to be people that aren't really that too intelligent that watch this show because, you know, it's dumbed down, as they say. You know, it is dumbed down. So it's not even sci-fi anymore. I wouldn't even call Doctor Who sci-fi anymore. I hate the way they even keep referring to it as a sci-fi, right? Sci-fi drama. It's not. It's a drama, right? There's no sci-fi in it, right? Right. So we've got one more caller. And I'm going to see, are they ready? No, that was supposed to say ready. It looks like you're ready. You're ready to go. Ow! In fairness, though, we've had some great calls tonight. We've got what? We've had 9 or 8 or 9 calls, 10 callers tonight, maybe 9 callers tonight. That's been a record for this channel. We also had 40 watching for a very long time, but we have 30 that have stayed all the way through. I really appreciate all the support. It means so much, trust me. If you haven't subscribed already and you are watching and this is your first time watching, please do us a favor. If you've liked all the callers tonight, we've got one more to go. But if you've liked everything that's been said, please give the video a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell and all that. And the missus will put it back in the live comments there just to remind you all before we end. And now I will bring on our last caller of the evening. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Oh, hold on. I thought there for a minute. Hello, can we hear you? Can you talk again? Oh, no, don't do this now. This can't be my phone now.
You there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just about. Right, go ahead. I won't interrupt you. Oh no, she's gone. She's gone. She's gone. Right. Right. I'm gonna call you back, Amy. And try again. Schedule me for tomorrow. Okay then. Right. Okay. Fair enough. I'll tell you what. I'll put you on force tomorrow, and I think everybody will understand. Damn. Right. I'll put you on for tomorrow. What are we on? What am I on? There. Yeah. I don't go. I'm not going by blinking. Oh, Amy, I already have you down first. See, because right. So you're down anyway first. I have you down. Right. Well, listen, folks. It's been great. It's been great. Some wonderful calls tonight. Absolutely fantastic. Put me in for tomorrow. My phone is being stupid. No problem, Amy. Listen, it's no problem. You're first on the list. We'll get you on. Don't worry tomorrow. But look, I want to thank every single person that phoned in tonight. Every single one of you has made some brilliant, brilliant points. And you know what? It's the one thing that I want to personally say is this, is that no matter what's said and done, right, there's a show out there that we love that's not doing too great right now, right? The fandom is not doing too great, and you know, everything just seems to have gone to shit, right? But one thing I can say about this side of the fandom is that even though it's going bad now, right? We're not going anywhere. We still love Doctor Who. And, you know, at the end of the day, we know this can... Look, let's be honest, right? I'm going to be honest here for a second. I know some people out there, and a hand on heart, I have to say, I really do think it probably is finished. But I'm slightly optimistic because we wouldn't be Doctor Who fans if we weren't slightly optimistic. I still want to see the good in this show. I want to see the show that even as a little kid that made me, like everybody else has said, hide behind that sofa or cover me hands on me face or excited me even as an adult watching episodes, being enthralled by Moffat's writing when he was on point and stuff, being excited, and even as an adult hiding behind the sofa. I mean, Midnight scared the shit, and I don't get scared, but Midnight creeped me out for weeks after. It was just the writing, and this is what's lacked. But look at we're not going to give up on this show, and this is the difference between me, everybody that supports me now. These Jodie bots will never fully understand what it means to be a fan of this show, because as soon as Jodie goes, they're gone anyway, right? And you always hear the rhetoric from these people, right? Even the ones that are writing in Doctor Who magazine. Well, maybe the show has left you behind, or maybe this show isn't for you, or the usual thing. Well, leave, because this show is not for you. And for people to say to me that I'm not a true fan, and to tell you aren't true fans, they're the very same people that actually call you not a true fan are the ones that aren't true fans, because we will still be around, and this channel still be going way after, even if it gets put up on the shelf. Of course, I'll still continue to do Doctor Who, because we'll have plenty of history to go back into and delve into, and videos to do. So I don't, you know what I mean? I would love it to continue on if they can get it right, because I do firmly believe, by everything that I've been told, it looks like BBC really wants to give this the best chance possible of success, because if they've said enough is enough from those two, and they're moving on, and they are moving on. 2020, Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker are gone, right? It was basically, well, it was 100% confirmed on this channel on that interview, because I even put the question to him. I says, what happens if Series 12 is an overwhelming success? Do you think there's a possibility that Chris Chibnall could be persuaded a second time to stay on? And he said, it's done. It's over. It's bye-bye Vienna. And you know what? Those Jody bots and all those other YouTubers that are having a go at me, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't have to, you know, I didn't even have to do those videos and show people what you said about me, because I could just sit back now and just wait for the announcement to be made. And then point proven. I didn't even need to do anything. The reason why I did is because I felt so strongly. If you're going to come out and call me a liar, but you're using third-party sources where I'm actually getting the information direct from the fucking place itself, right? And you're getting articles off places that aren't even legit, and basically going out and calling my channel out and saying that I'm a liar, I have to laugh at you. Everybody can see which channel on YouTube is actually giving the news for Doctor Who Series 12, and that has broken the news for Series 12. This has been the Real Whovian Phone In. I have been your host, Noel, and I will see you all tomorrow. Good night. God bless. Don't forget to give the video a like and all that other stuff. And don't forget to watch that interview. Good night. Mama, just